Yeah, what's up with it? Do it cause I love it and I stuck with it. We ain't with the subbing in the cut with it. Please, none of the talks, I heard enough of it. Like, what you gonna do? Where you at? Who you with? You ain't really about this, don't talk about it. Really on the move, on the map, never slip. Keep your hands to your lips, don't talk about it. Real eyes, real lies all the time. Stand on it, if we said it, we don't walk around it. Loose lips, sink ships, red cup, blue strips, new phone, who this? No, we don't allow it. Really on go, I don't know what's an off day. Now we on road, came from smoking in the hallway. Now we got shows, boys feeling like Broadway. Always look both ways, even on a crossway. Driving down Cross Bay, out town Barclays. Really on big things, came up a small way. Championship rings, baby, that's a ball game. Oh, she want a little bag, baby, that's small change.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Epic Podcast. I'm joined today in the house with my man Jared and Justin, man. How was your sports weekend? Jared, I guess I said
Oh,
we waiting for Justin to jump on the camera. He's taking care of
okay,
it.
okay,
He
okay.
here though, he here. I talked to him.
Nah, we good. I mean, it was cool, man. I'm getting excited for baseball, honestly.
Okay.
Watching a little bit of spring training. I still can't get into college basketball. I can't do it. I just can't. I try and try and try. I just can't do it. Of course, I'm loving NBA.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, man, everything's straight. No complaints.
All right. Justin, how's your sports weekend, man?
It's cool, man. I'm doing my volleyball thing as usual with my daughter. So, yeah. Outside of that, that's about it, man.
Yeah, man. Well, I would be doing volleyball this time of the year too, because I looked into some local travel team stuff for her, but she ain't do what she needed to do by this time. So
Yeah,
Nah.
put that $2,000 back in my pocket.
I know that's right. Boy, I know that's right. Ain't
So
that bad when you be hoping that they do something wrong?
no, I don't know, but I want to do it. Like I want to give her the things that you know what I mean that she earned, but it's just like she don't want to put the little work in to earn it. So I'm like, I ain't gonna bust my head trying to make it work for you and drag you to the
Hmm.
finish line to get you what you say you want. So
Yep.
it
I
is what
already
it
know.
is.
I
But
already know.
yeah, nah, man. All right. First off, I want to start this off, man. What do you think about the fight this weekend? This past weekend, I should say,
Mm.
because I know you be following it, and
Yeah.
like I've been hearing mixed reviews from people that watched it. I just seen the highlights. I didn't watch it live, but what do you think, being our fight aficionado?
Um. First, I say Tank look off. Like something didn't look right, and it wasn't like the trainers or nothing. It almost seemed like something's going on outside the ring that's got him distracted.
Okay.
Because at times, even throughout the fight, if you watched it, he's looking out of the ring and stuff in the middle of the fight, bro. Like I'm like, you gonna get hit. Like you tripping. Like he got something going on outside the ring. I think that got him distracted. But honestly, it was a real good fight. Lamont Roach can fight. He's good, man. Ultimately, a lot of people I'm hearing they tripping because of the quote unquote knee that Tank took,
Mm,
and I'm like, the only reason why I don't have a problem with the ref not calling it a knockdown is because it wasn't a punch as to why he took a knee. And you
Mm.
probably heard by now it was Tank's got long braids. One of them braids, and you can see it if you watch the fight, smacked him dead in his eye, boy, when he was moving. And that grease or whatever they put in his hair was burning his eyes. And most people don't know there's a female fighter, was it Amanda something? She actually canceled her whole fight because that happened. Like she backed out of the fight completely. So for people who think, oh, he's playing around or coming up with excuses, no, there's been fighters who like literally fights coming up, they didn't like canceled the whole fight from stuff like that. So I don't have an issue with it. It was a close fight. Not a fan of the draw because even though it was a lot closer than what people think, I actually still think Tank won by a round. But ultimately, and even casual boxing people will tell you, you got to go beat a champion. Like you got to go beat him. And as well as Lamont Roach fought, he didn't beat Tank, but he fought very well. But he didn't beat him, so usually that usually goes to the champ, and it didn't. So it is what it is. That Tank gonna have to be on top of his game because everything's coming around saying it's definitely gonna be a rematch. Tank said he'd be ready for a rematch by the end of May. So
My thing with that is though, I mean, even if it was legit reasoning for him to have a issue, isn't that boxing though? That's just like if I'm leaking and blood is in my eye, that's just it, right?
the blood, yes,
But I mean, that's almost like, so what's the
but
difference between him like pulling a hamstring or something like you lose?
no, that's not true though. So like for example, like in the amateurs, you can actually take a knee. Like you can actually take a knee, and that's not a knockdown.
So if
So
you're fighting professionally and like for some reason you tear your ACL in the ring, you don't
mhm,
lose the fight.
depending on what round. Round's not official until I think they got to
Mm,
complete. If I'm not mistaken, they got to get make it through. It's either 4 or 6 rounds to actually be complete, considered a fight. So if something
yeah,
happens in those in that amount of time, then no, that can wipe the fight clean.
that's
Nothing on
crazy because
nobody's record.
I watched it, and I'm all for technicalities. So I just need to know the rules. I've never ever seen somebody take a knee and it not be, because I feel like it did come off a punch. Because right before he went down, but I mean, I guess it was the grease. But like right before he went down, he looked crazy,
Yeah,
like, and he
yeah.
didn't do this. He like looked stunned, and then he took a knee and went to his corner. I'm just that's that. I mean,
Yeah, if you go look at it, Jared, he had got hit in the eye. That hair hit him in the eye and was burning.
yeah,
Like I don't know if you've ever had braids. Like I've had braids. And
mm,
probably Byron can even speak on this. If when they get done with your hair, if that junk rub your eyes, like that, it burn. I mean,
I
I
get that.
like
I feel like that's
so
the same as anything else, though. Like, I mean, it's nobody made you have the not you, but like Devontae,
yeah, yeah,
nobody
yeah, yeah,
made you
yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
braids. So
hmm
if you have braids, and that's just like in
It's a
football.
risk. It's a risk.
That's just like in
hmm
football. If you have dreads hanging out of your helmet, I
They
can
ta-
be chasing you and
yep,
yank your shit down. Like
yep,
you chose to have dreads, so if you get tackled by your dreads, you just get tackled by your dreads. And
yep.
I feel like if you have braids and that hinders you, that's not his fault. We can't say, "Oh, Lamont, well, you got to stop because he got braids. So every time he gets something in his eye, he's allowed to take it." No, that's crazy.
No,
But I don't know the rules, so that's why this conversation is interesting to me.
yeah, I won't say I know the rules per se on that because that's the first time I've actually seen it taking place. But I ultimately said this: I wouldn't have been mad if they counted it as a knockdown or not. Personally, like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like that would
for sure.
I didn't care. But I also said in professional sports, but especially boxing, I would have hated an outcome to be determined off of something like that. Um, so I mean,
Yeah.
to a degree, yeah, I get it. People say it's part of it. I'm not debating it. I said just personally,
Mhm.
I think that's even I think Lamont Roach himself would tell you he wouldn't have wanted to win based upon that. At the same time, he wanted to win. So it is what it is, man. Like, I mean, either way, I don't think Tank did enough for me to just sit up here and tell anybody. I think he just flat out
Yeah,
dominated
I
or
agree
nothing
with
like
that.
that. Nah,
Both
nah.
ways. I actually think the draw was perfect. But like I said, I'm super technical when it comes to certain things. Like I really want to know what the rule is because
Yeah,
I feel like if he's allowed to do that for that, it opens up a lot of, somebody can just, oh, I got something in my shoe. Like, I mean, you could just say anything. If you can pull that, you could get away. Where do you draw the line, basically?
yeah.
So,
I want to say like because I've seen them call timeouts. Like I've actually seen a ref call
oh
a
yeah,
timeout in the middle of the fight.
true.
So I know that there are things in place for that. That's why I say like I don't know the technical rule behind it.
Mm,
But I've seen refs stop the fight, call
yeah,
timeout. Hey, his mouth guard popped out. You know what I'm saying? We got to rinse it off, or like some tape on the glove then
yeah,
busted.
yeah.
You
I've
know what I'm
seen that.
saying? And they didn't retape. So like I've seen different things that causes a fight to stop. Again, is it a little different because the fighter getting something in their eye? Yeah, I will. But here's the kicker to that. Let's say it happened in the first 4 rounds. How mad would people been if Javante called off the fight? Been mad, right?
Yeah,
You done paid all that money, and it's not gonna count against nobody's record. The fight's just over because he can't continue because of what happened. You know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah.
I get it, but I'm not one way or the other on it. I think it was a good fight. I would love to see the rematch. and see him get to it.
Yeah. So I'm
But it
just
wasn't the
read
best fight of the night, FY. So
why y'all was talking about. I was looking trying to find the rules, but of course they just um brought up the information from the fight. But they saying if he would have if he would have correctly ruled a knockdown, him taking that knee in round 9, if it would have been correctly ruled a knockdown, then Roach would have won.
For sure.
So
well, you want to know why I say that's not true? Because when that happened, I guarantee you, some of them judges that had the rounds, let's say a judge gave Lamont Roach one of them last rounds when they were pretty close, they
mhm.
just would have gave it to Tank. It still would have
Yeah,
been a
because it
draw.
says two judges scored the
It was
fight,
114 to
114
114.
115. The
Yeah.
third had 115 to 113
Yep.
Davis. So
So think about it. It's still, in my opinion, it probably still would have ended up a draw, no matter how they cut it. Even if they gave him a 10-8 round.
Yeah,
yeah,
I certainly wasn't mad at a draw at all. I feel like,
Mm-mm. No.
I'm kind of barbaric when it comes to fighting. I guess I can shout this out to my ignorance, but like I feel like if it's no, I feel like guys should fight till somebody stops because it's like there's
I
nothing more
feel you.
aggravating to me than seeing a fight end and nobody has any scars, nobody's even breathing hard, like nobody's barely
Yep.
sweating. It's like, what are we doing here? And
I
that's
think.
what a lot of Floyd's fights used to be. And I used to be like,
Yep.
man, I'm cool.
Because my thing is this, and I'm agreeing with you, Jared. I'm like, shouldn't they have like an overtime in boxing? Like,
Yeah,
if if
man, like
if
if
what
I'm
they
the
if
hell
it
is
comes
a
to
this
a
shit,
draw,
man?
yeah, like
if it comes to a draw, give them an extra round.
one more untimed round. You know,
Yeah.
don't put no time on it and just be like, hey, look.
I mean, boxers ain't ever gonna agree to that, but like,
Yeah.
give them one extra round.
And
Even to me, give them a 2 quick
if
rounds.
we were boxers, we wouldn't agree to that.
Nah. We wouldn't. We
We
wouldn't.
would
Nah.
ourselves.
Nah, especially with all that money, nah.
Yeah,
And
no,
that's selfishly as a fan.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. For
for
no,
sure.
a
absolutely.
variety of reasons, that shouldn't be the case. But you know, I'm kind of just like, especially when I was paying for fights, I'm just like, bro, I just watch these guys get a workout in. Like,
Yeah.
And then
neither
sometimes
person
you
is
get in
hurt,
there and
neither
there's a
person shows any signs of, you know, physical altercation. Like, it's just, yeah.
But
sometimes
one thing. Oh, go ahead,
sometimes you
Brian.
get in there and you just or you buy a fight, it's highly anticipated fight, and it's a first round knockout or something. And then you like, there go the
Man,
night.
how long has it been since that's like a
I
main
know. I mean,
event?
I'm just saying though, like it was back in
That's
the day. You
crazy.
know, it was a lot of times. It was like you get that first, second round knockout. You like, damn, like we
Nah,
put
for
all this
sure.
money into that, or
Mhm.
you know what I mean. You
For
want
sure.
something to go 12 rounds and it just don't. You disappointed in either way. If you know what I mean. If there's a lot of
Yeah,
defense
that's
in
crazy.
it and it
My
drags it
personal
out, or
fight,
if it's too
you
much
know, it's
offense early and it ends
a
the
first
fight
round
early,
knockout.
as a fan, you just kind of be like, shit, like.
Yeah, I don't think you can. I don't honestly don't think you can please most fight fans if we're gonna be honest, like you said, because if it ends too early, you mad they got knocked out quick, and if it goes 12, it may not satisfy you either if it wasn't enough action.
I have
You
seen
know.
some fights that go the distance that I'm like, man, that was a good ass fight.
Yep.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
Yep.
I've
Me too.
seen it.
The one before that one, Gary Antoine Russell Jr. His fight against Royo.
I missed
That
that one.
fight, that fight was it went 12 rounds, but it was a good fight. Now, granted, I ain't never seen man when I tell you he had his foot on the gas like crazy because he actually lost a split decision to Puyo, who fought before they did. He lost a split decision to do, but he ended up winning. Gary Antoine Russell won this one. Man, he threw like 924 punches in that fight or something crazy. And it's a 10 round. That was a 10-round fight, if I ain't mistaken. He was letting them hands go. That was an entertaining fight. That was a
Mhm.
very entertaining fight.
and a
So
lot of times the women's fights be like that. Like
Oh yeah,
yeah, they do a lot of
they
punches.
let their hands go.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
It's the lighter weight classes that typically you see that too. You know what I'm saying? They
yeah.
throw a
I
lot
remember
more punches.
the
So
first time I remember seeing that. I think it was the Marquez and Pacquiao. Is that the one that had like 3 fights, 2 or 3 fights?
yeah.
Well,
I believe you're
somebody
talking about the
Pacquiao
trilogy.
fought. Yeah, they used to them was some entertaining fights, and I think those
Hmm.
went the distance. And they were just when you got done with it, you're like, all right, yeah, that was live. Like,
Yep, that was a good fight. Yep, yep. Now I did say something. I think Vern, you pulled it up.
yeah, he said the
Uh,
judges can still rule it a knockdown regardless of the ref.
so
oh, I
so
didn't
the
know
thing,
that. I
That
didn't
makes
yeah.
know that.
So if that's the case, Jared, them 114, 14s may have counted it
May
as
have been
one.
115,
You know, it
115,
might have
and
been one
then
fifteen, one thirteen
and
for
then
them
that last one would have been 115,
14.
115,
Yep,
114,
114,
114, and then,
114.
yeah, and that was
Yep.
still would have been a Roach favor. Yeah,
So two of them could have counted it, and one of them didn't, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah,
we
true.
don't know. We don't ever know how the judges look at it. So just because the ref didn't, don't mean the judges didn't consider it. You know what I'm saying?
And then another thing I thought was pretty crazy is that I thought the two draws would like cancel themselves out, and then the one ref.
Yep. I thought he would win because the one had him winning. Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh huh.
yep.
Yep. Yep. I agree. I agree.
Think
Again,
we
that was
found
just
out
my
that that was
ignorance
not
on that.
the case.
yeah. No, I just I wanted to start the show off with that because I was just interested because I
That
didn't
was
get
a
to
great
see it.
first
I
fight.
was just like I said,
Yeah.
I just seen a lot of the highlights and stuff like that, and everybody was just talking about the knee. And I know normally if a boxer takes a knee, even if they slip or something like that, usually you get an 8 count anyway.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like a pretty much a standard 8 count. So that's why I was asking people about it. I'm like, what was it like? Did he slip? Like I know sometimes, you know what I mean, like that happens and they take a knee and they be like, all right, back him up, give him an 8 count, make sure he good and continue to fight.
because me
People,
personally, I probably wouldn't have counted it. And the main reason why I say that is it didn't come off of him being hurt. So it wasn't like he took a knee, it was even down for like 2, 3 seconds. He literally touched it to walk over to the corner. So me
Hmm.
personally, even as the ref, I probably wouldn't have counted it either because there was no indication that he was doing it out of being tired or hurt or any of that.
he
So
wasn't stalling. He wasn't trying to
he
stall
wasn't
the fight. Or
stalling or nothing like that. He literally like really grazed his knee against the canvas and went right over to the corner looking for a towel. And you saw him waving his hands like, "Hey, come! I need to wipe this face. My eyes is burning." So
So
I
so
personally
say
wouldn't have counted it,
say
but
say say old boy runs up on him and knocks him out while he's got his head outside the ring. Then what?
well, he wouldn't have because the ref when that took in, if you paid attention to the ref he essentially sent Roach over to his corner.
Mm.
Yeah, so
yeah, you
yeah,
almost you gotta separate them at that point.
yeah, because you'll separate them. Because like Vern said, because if he did count, it would have been a standing 8 anyway, right?
Yeah,
So the other fighter wouldn't have been nowhere near him anyway.
yeah. Nah, I was just interested in that, man. Before we really started with the show, that wasn't really a topic, but I'm glad we got the
No,
insight.
that was a good first way to start this. So yeah, I
Anytime
agree.
you get Justin in here, we got to talk about fights. And usually we do it at the end of the show, so
Yeah.
like we could start it off since we just had some controversy in the boxing world.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh
let's
yeah.
just say if he doesn't give the rematch, which everybody assume he will, because that would just look so bad on his part.
It
But
would.
if he doesn't, who does he fight next then?
Has to be Shakur.
Okay, okay.
Has to be. Yeah. Because at this point now, in my opinion, there's only a handful of people that I think he would get any credit for fighting. I think he could fight Devin Haney, and people would want to see that. Even though Haney got the brakes beat off of him, and I know he's gonna say Ryan was juicing. I ain't necessarily buying that the way that fight went, and I watched that, but that's here nor there. So outside of Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson, I don't know that there's anybody else that Tank could fight. I would like to see him fight like a Teofimo Lopez. I don't think that ever happened either, though. So, but he got to get it going because there's some young bulls coming up in that weight division that as he gets older, they
They're
they
gonna
going
be gunning for
they
him.
they gonna be gunning for him. So he's gonna have to go ahead and knock off a couple of these guys. So if he is gonna retire, he can retire without it looking too bad. Because um, like Keyshawn Davis wants a piece of him. Now, granted, I don't know that Keyshawn's honestly ready for him, but Keyshawn Davis, because we don't know if Keyshawn Davis has a chin, but he's good. My probably one of my favorite young fighters coming up is Abdullah Mason. He that kid is super talented, man. He got speed, he got power. He's got to learn. He's got to learn how to not be overly aggressive early in fights because it's hard to go in and knock anybody out. You know what I'm saying in round one. So he got to be a little bit smarter with how he attacks it. But like, yeah, I think Shakur or Devin Haney has to be his next fight if he doesn't give Lamont Roach a rematch. But I'll tell you now, and if he doesn't give Roach a rematch, his legacy is tarnished for sure.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, okay, I see. Yeah, Shakur Stevenson because he's a WBC. I'm looking at the champions right now.
Yep. Yep.
Keyshawn Davis,
Hmm.
WBO, and he's a WBA. So
Hmm.
Also, Tank only has one belt.
Mm.
Yeah, Tank's never been a person that chased belts. He's
Yeah.
always been about his money. That's the thing about coming up under Floyd. He's only cared about making his money. He's never cared about the belts. And I didn't know
Mm.
this about boxing. They actually have to pay money to hold them belts.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what the fee is, but there's actually a fee. That's why a lot of these fighters, if you notice, like they'll get stripped of belts and they don't be tripping like that.
Yeah,
Because I've heard that it's like there's a fee to hold these belts, which is wild to me.
that's super wild.
Yeah, so yep.
Which is crazy. I mean, because there's a couple. I mean, in heavyweight. I mean, light heavyweight. You got somebody holding all four belts. So like,
Mm,
I mean, you really got to be dominant, and like you said, be making in the money
yeah,
and bring it. But you also got to fight top fights to keep the money rolling in to pay those fees.
correct. And
So
Bivol just got those. So the light heavyweight Bivol that you see,
yep. Hmm.
he just won last week. So
Yeah.
he actually just got those belts last week. He in a rematch with Bima Beeve or something. I can never pronounce the other dude's name. So they're actually talking about Bivol facing the Mexican monster David Benavidez next, which is going to be a heck of a fight if that happens.
Yeah. So let's see. We got some key dates coming up. Shoot, no big fights. March 29th in Las Vegas. Makia Mayer, Sandy Ryan. WBO welterweight title. We got Cancun,
Yeah,
Mexico. They fighting William Zempeda, I want to say, and
Zapata.
Tevin Zepeda and Tevin
Yep,
Farmer.
yep,
That's my bill. You got April 12th and 26th in London. Yeah, they got some fights coming up, man. And you
yeah.
said March will possibly be some rematches. Okay, yeah.
N- Yeah, May would be
For
the
May,
tank.
for May. Yeah, Tank.
Yeah, would be the tank one if that was to happen. Canelo fights in May.
Ryan
Um,
Garcia, like you
Ryan
said,
Garcia, that card is actually going to be decent because he fights the clown
uh,
Rolly Romero.
yeah, Devin
Um,
Haney's supposed to
but
fight
Devin Haney
Ramirez.
fights on that one. Yep.
Yeah,
And if I'm not mistaken, Teofimo Lopez fights that
yep,
night too. I
yep.
think all three are
Against
on that fight card.
Barbosa Jr.
Yep, and I think Barbosa's like 32 and 0. Now that don't necessarily mean nothing in boxing nowadays, but um, that should actually be a decent fight card. The good thing that, like I said, you got to watch out for Abdullah Mason. Abdullah is one of the few fighters that you have now that fights. He fights 4 or 5 times a year. Like
Mm,
he's constantly busy, which is great because you get to see him. So if you're a person that watches boxing, you have plenty of opportunity to watch him. Carmel Morton, he's another youngster that's coming up in the ranks. They kind of compare him to Tank. I don't per se. I understand the why, but he's another one that's coming up in the ranks that'd be pretty interesting to see where he goes. Keyshawn Davis actually has a younger brother who he has to stay more active than what he does to really get in there. And
What's
then
his name? Is it
what
Tyrone Davis?
was say it again?
Chiron. It's like Tyrone with a K.
Kyron Davis, that might be him. He got two other brothers that fight. I
Oh,
can't
okay.
remember which is
I'm
which,
just
but he
going
got
through
an
the
older
rankings
brother.
right now at each weight.
Nah, his brother ain't ranked because his brother only got like 3 professional fights, so he's not. The younger one ain't ranked. The older one has been boxing for longer, so he might be. But the young one's not ranked. Mm-mm.
Okay. Yeah, I was just trying to see where some of these guys are ranked at, and definitely see where Roach is ranked at now. Where does that put him with?
Well, you got to remember he's not a lightweight. He's a super
Yeah,
lightweight.
no, yep,
Right.
yep.
Oh,
He's no, he is a lightweight. Well, they got it ranked up to 135 pounds.
yeah, he's
So
at one. He fights at 130 though. That's
yeah,
where his
so
belt
he's
is
at
at.
actually ranked six after
Six.
previously not being ranked at all. So
Okay, yeah.
25 1-2 with 10 knockouts. So
I tell you now, right now, put Tank to the side. Roach would give any of those lightweights that I've seen, whether it's Shakur or Keyshawn Davis, any of those guys that I've seen, he would give them a run for their money.
okay, well they got him ranked up there with him. So
Yeah, he would
if
give
he
any of
don't
them
get
a
that
run for their
rematch,
money.
then he definitely can fight one of those guys
Oh,
and
for sure.
keep his
And
name buzzing.
I wouldn't doubt because you know boxing's all about trolling nowadays, trying to build a fight up. S- Either Shakur or Keyshawn Davis is going to end up fighting Frank Martin soon too. You know, Frank Martin ain't been in the ring since Tank knocked him out. He has to get back in the ring at some point. Because I mean, he's just been out of the ring too long. If you ask me, same with Devin Haney. They've been out of the ring too long. They got to get back in. And my guess is that Frank Martin ended up fighting. I don't know if he does quote unquote tune up fights, but he'll end up having to fight either Keyshawn or Shakur in his next fight because he was supposed to fight Shakur before he ever fought Tank. And then
Mm.
really what it was is Tank gave him more money. That's really what it came down to. He got opportunity to make more money fighting Tank, so he backed out of the Shakur fight. That's at least that's what the rumor was. And then Keyshawn Davis just been barking people name for a while now, just because he's trying to move up and get belts and get big fights early in his career. But he got to be careful because he might bite off too much too soon. And that sometimes happens to fighters where they take some of them big fights too early in their career and it can set them back. Because I heard sometimes if a fighter like that gets knocked out, sometimes it's hard for them mentally to recoup and get back to it.
And
Mm,
then and to start the weight circuit over again because
Yep.
you know
Yep.
what I mean. Now you got to go
Yep.
back through and fight. You know what I mean. Some of the up and coming dudes, like you really got to grind back to get back to that limelight.
Yeah.
If you lose that
Because
fight, so.
it's not the losses, it's the knockouts they say that take the tolls on these guys. So I don't
I
know.
can imagine getting knocked out. It's crazy.
Yo, yeah, yeah. The way some of them do, yeah. So I mean, I think honestly, there's some fights that should be getting made. Now, will they get made? We'll see. But there's definitely some fights that should be getting made this year, and we'll see. Obviously, the biggest one probably of the year that people gonna talk about is Canelo and Terrence Crawford. That's supposed to happen in September, but come to find out, that's not even a date that's been set because Canelo fights in May, so it depends on his May fight if they'll fight in September.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that still gives you what 4 or 5 months, 4 months.
It's not that. I think it's you got to make sure he comes out with no injuries, and
Yeah.
honestly, make sure he doesn't
Um,
come out with a loss.
Yeah.
So those two things
Because
I
then
think
you're right. Then it doesn't build up the same way.
then it doesn't build up the same way. So you got to kind of rebuild it. And a name that you guys ain't heard in a long time that I've been saying got to get back in the ring is Earl Spence. If he's coming back, he got to get back.
oh yeah, I mentioned Buddy the other night.
Yeah, if he's gonna come back, he got to get back in the ring. It's just it's been too long for him since he took that beating from Crawford. No,
BT.
I'm not trying to be funny, but like
I
Crawford
mean,
Nah,
it
had, I
was.
mean,
It was
he
though.
he beat the brakes off of
a
him, man. That was a
woman could tell that that
dominating
was
win.
a thrashing. Like that
Yeah.
was crazy.
That
Hey,
was
I'll
definitely.
be honest. There were points where I felt like Buddy off of Rocky. Just throw in the towel. Come on, like
Man.
golly, because he was taking some heavy shots, man. And I
And
don't
you
want to
see
see
how
that
he
for none
looked
of them.
after the fight? He looked
Yeah,
like
Yes,
he was
Martin did
tore.
in that
yes,
episode.
yes, he did. He looked like Martin after he got in that. What was it? Tommy Hearns, I
Hitman
think.
Hearns,
Yeah,
yeah.
who tore him up.
Yeah,
Like,
had
and I
all
ain't
them
even
lumps
trying to
on his
poke
head.
fun.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
because I respect fighters, bro, because what they do is not easy. But I'm just being real about that situation. Like Crawford shows you that there was levels in that fight, and the way he dominated him and made it look so daggone easy. Like if Spence is getting back in the ring, I think he just has to get back in. Because I think the longer you're out of the ring, especially for somebody like him, I think the tougher it is for him to get back at an elite level.
Yeah, and boxing is a lot about your name too.
It is. It's
Like
huge.
like if you disappear for too long, then people forget your name, and you got like you said, got to grind the circuit again. Which I don't know if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, he don't. That's the thing. He ain't taking no small fights. So if he can't get big fights, I guarantee you he won't fight again. You know what I'm saying? So he got to get back in the ring. Just like you ain't heard Jerron Ennis in a while. Like Boots got to stay active, and somebody got to give Boots a shot to really make a name for ourselves. Because some people are ducking and dodging Boots. You know what I'm saying? So um, he gonna have to figure out what he wants to do. I hate to say it, but he may have to dominate his weight class right now, 147, and then he may just have to. I don't think he could cut weight to 140 personally. I think he had to jump up to 154, but he may just have to make that jump and keep it moving.
All right, man. Well, that was some good insight on boxing, man. Uh, Locked in, man. Let's jump over to the NFL, man, and talk about what's a lot of free agency about to come. Teams about to be able to talk to players. They already some of them are already coming to terms, but they can't officially sign to I think after March 10th. My bad.
March 10th, yeah.
So yeah, but Eagles just let's start with the Eagles and Barkley, man. Just made him top paid running back. I'm pretty sure we all agree that it was deserving.
Oh yeah,
Just
for
after
sure.
what he did for the Eagles, changed the whole dynamic of their team. So
Yeah.
he gets 2 year, 41.2 million extension and makes him the highest paid running back. That's 36 million guaranteed at signing. Uh, which oh man, somebody got the show on in the background. I
Yep.
can hear myself echoing.
Yeah, you good. My bad.
All right.
I forgot. I told you I'll be trying to share it, so my
Yeah,
bad.
no,
I
no, I
forgot to
appreciate
share
it. But it's the first. He's the first running back to get more than 20 million guaranteed. More than 20 million per year. My bad.
Yep.
And
Yep.
ability to earn an additional 15 million in incentives and escalators. So,
Well
like I said,
deserved.
I think very much well deserved. I mean, 2,504 yards for this whole season after the Giants just kind of discarded him, like,
Stupid,
and win
stupid
the Super
things
Bowl
like
the first year you
that
with your new team and be one of the driving factors on that. Like,
literally
No,
push
no.
them right over.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, he had to. If we honest, he the team was on his back in the regular season.
that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying.
He
Literally, like,
he carried them, boy. He
yeah,
carried them, and teams respected so much of what he did. I mean, it made it easy for Hurts and them to kind of do what they did because teams are so worried about Saquon. So, yep, well deserved, man. Well deserved. He just got to stay healthy now. That's the big thing. He got to stay healthy. That's a lot of carries and a lot of uses they gave him this year.
You
Now,
know what? I don't feel like it really even was though, for real. I mean, a lot
because
of
he was breaking a lot of big
I feel
runners, so
like
it wasn't like he was taking a
I
lot of
don't feel
hits
like they
either.
ran him into the ground or nothing by any means.
I'll say, let me see, because when let me, he had
I can say that.
345 carries, which was
Yeah,
the most in the NFL.
Okay.
it just don't
Yeah,
like you said. It just
It
don't
didn't.
seem like
It
it.
just didn't seem like that because I mean they were out front. They had control of a lot of the games.
Hmm.
Um, it didn't really seem like he was just getting hella usage. But I mean, I guess
Yeah,
Yeah,
if the stats show
345
you what he did,
carries. Yeah, I mean that's a lot of carries because that don't even include. Let me see, he had 91 in the postseason,
mm-hmm.
and then he had 46 total catches too.
Yep, I'm looking at it right now.
So
Yeah, so I
yeah,
yeah,
mean,
that's 21 and a half carries a game. So I mean, I guess yeah.
that's old school running back numbers.
I
hmm
I thought it was like 26, 27 was the average for the
Yeah,
highest, but shit.
And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying he has to make sure that whatever he has to do physically to stay healthy, he got to stay healthy because you know what happens if he gets banged up or anything, then they're questioning the running back market again. This is
yeah,
why you don't pay running backs,
yep,
blah blah blah, all that nonsense. So everybody gets hurt, but it's just I think it's vital that he stays healthy this next season. Just so you can kind of keep some of the noise away, because I told you I hated how they try to discredit running backs in the league today. So
yeah, and I think now with what Philly has done, um, I think that kind of brings the running backs back to the forefront. Like
mhm.
seeing what Saquon did, you know what I mean? Like even who else got Jonathan Taylor had a better year. I think he was like fifth in the league in rushing. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? After
Derrick,
getting
I mean, look at
paid,
Derrick Henry. Look at
yeah,
what Derrick Henry
Henry,
did.
like you know what I mean? Like those guys, these prominent running backs,
Mhm.
who's gotten paid, which Henry he's kind of been getting paid, but outside of McCaffrey really being injured, like the top guys really showed up this year for their teams. Not a lot of injuries, bunch of carries.
Josh Jacobs, what he
Have
did for
yeah,
the Packers,
yeah.
hmm
Jones, you know what I mean, and
Yep,
the
Aaron
Vikings, like
Jones. Yep,
there was a lot of running backs that really stepped up this year and showed their value.
yep.
I don't think say this resets the running back market. I
No,
think that
no,
Saquon is an outlier, but I
yeah.
do think it pushes the numbers up a little more for whoever gets signed this offseason.
Next is James Cook. What's Buffalo gonna do?
Yeah,
Because he's good. He's good. He's undervalued, but he's good. And somebody definitely pay that young man because Cook can play.
yeah, I agree. I agree. Um, Next order of business. So Jets is kind of clean the house, man. I don't really know why, but now they done cut Adams.
They
Uh,
need to.
They gonna
well,
lose.
I mean, of course, but I'm just like they need to, but it's like you got so much young talent. Like, are you? Is this are y'all doing a reset, a rebuild? Like, what do
Mm-mm.
y'all think going on with the Jets right now?
No, I think they're getting themselves prepared for the draft, and I think they may try to do something in free agency because releasing Devontae, if I saw earlier, it opened over $20 million in cap space. I would
I
have
think it
released
was
him too.
29,
Yeah,
27,
like
28.
almost 30 then. Yeah, like I would have released him too. Jared would have released him too. I know he would have. Because
Yeah, I mean,
So Adam,
only
so the
reason,
Adams move,
only
he
reason.
wait a minute, I'm gonna give you the numbers real quick. He had a 35.6 million non-guaranteed base salary, and it cleared 29.9 million.
So $30 million got cleared.
Yeah,
He would have been gone yesterday. I would have packed him up.
and there was only a 8.4 million dead cap charge. So
Yeah, yeah, he
yeah,
would
that's
have
a
been
no
gone.
brainer. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
no
that's a
brainer.
no-brainer. Yeah. So I think, I mean, because really, if you think about it, um, I don't know what his value is because the reality is they don't even know who their daggone quarterback gonna be.
That's true.
Right.
So it ain't no point in
That,
having no
that,
$30 million
that
receiver.
would have been the only reason that I would have, as a GM, I would have been like, but also I still would have been, I would have tried to trade him. I mean,
I don't
what's the
I don't
worst?
know that
Because
he had a market.
you did lose a third round pick for him.
I just don't think you have much of a market for him. I mean, think about it. They can't
Really?
even unload. They can't unload Cooper Cup. These teams ain't necessarily like even Debo was the first receiver I've seen who's been available, and he got a sixth. If I ain't mistaken, I think it was a six for Debo. So it's like I don't know that.
I think it was a fifth, but
Was it a
still the
fifth?
same
Oh,
thing.
So I mean, it's one of those things where it's like I just don't know that teams are gonna be willing to trade
yeah, it was a fifth.
a fifth. Okay, yeah, I don't know that somebody would have been willing to trade for Devontae like that
I
because of
just
his
don't.
cap. Because
I
of
don't
his cap, you got to think
understand.
that 35. Ain't nobody trying to give him that. Mm-mm.
At 32, yeah.
Yeah, not
But I
at
mean,
32.
he was balling though. So they
But
like he can't come in and kill.
was he
Yeah.
worth 35 million? I
Nah.
wouldn't have paid him 35.
I'm just
Not
and
Man,
when I don't got to
hey,
trade for him.
If I'm the coach, I pay him 35.
Here's the thing, you ain't got to because if you're the coach and every other team in the NFL, y'all know he's getting released because they knew the dead cap hit and they knew what he was going what they were going to save when they released him. So they already knew. Ain't no point in me trading for him. The only team that needed to trade for him is a team that just doesn't think they have any chance of getting him when he hits free agency. And
and
it,
or
and you
or
really
somebody who
wanted
was
him.
about to who's on the cusp of making that push to the
Yep.
playoffs.
Yep.
Like that's who the only people is going to be desperate. And you got to think the Jets really only brought him in because they thought it would make an immediate
Rogers.
impact and
Yep.
kind of and maybe get them in as a wild card in the AFC, like
Yep.
just trying to salvage the season. So that's the only reason why they did it. Like,
And I personally think they're trying to get rid of everything that was associated with Aaron Rodgers.
yeah,
That's
definitely.
crazy.
Which
But
I
I mean, I
agree,
get
which
it.
is crazy. Like,
I mean, I just really wish I knew what went wrong because Aaron Rodgers didn't have all that bad of a season.
He made up for it in the second part of the season. The first part was real bad.
yeah, but if you look at his numbers and Patrick Mahomes' numbers, they are very close.
And that's the same thing like we were saying
You
about the
talking about for
Colts
the season?
those
Yeah, for
years.
the season. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean,
What
if
was he
we
Yeah,
got
got
to talk
like
because
about
20,
production between them two, like,
about like
he
28
had a much better
touchdowns
end.
and 10 picks or something?
Yeah, he had a much better second half of the season.
yeah,
But
That's like cool. Like I don't know.
yeah. I mean, but Aaron Rodgers, I mean, there's definitely a market. Somebody's always going to need a QB. It's definitely a veteran of his caliber. So
I don't know. I don't know too many teams. I mean, there's a few teams I think he fit, but I don't think he has a huge market personally.
um,
Colts,
I mean, I was gonna say,
please.
I
I
don't think you
mean,
bring him in if you're the coach because you're not changing your culture to fit around Aaron Rodgers, and that's what he would want.
Oh
hell,
no, I was still talking about Devontae, but
Oh, Devontae, yeah. Devontae's gonna have a bigger
I
market than Aaron
only
Rodgers.
yeah,
reason as
absolutely.
as a coach, only reason I wouldn't bring Aaron Rodgers in, only reason why I wouldn't do it is because that pattern's been happening. If Andrew Luck had say he retired this year after this season, then I'm bringing in Aaron Rodgers. The
I can see
only
that.
reason
Yep.
I wouldn't do it if I'm a Colts
Because it
fan,
hasn't been working in the past.
say what now?
It hasn't worked in the past.
That's what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
so I think to keep the team, to keep the fans engaged, I feel like that would be a bad move. But like, let's cut the shit. Aaron Rodgers is going to do better than anybody the Colts are probably going to start a quarterback next season. Like,
Yeah,
and we
but I
don't
mean,
even know who's going to
We'll
be
see.
their starter. And I'm pretty sure that Aaron Rodgers will probably outperform whoever it is that gets the starter job.
We'll
you
see.
could. I mean, New England, the Giants.
Drake
Uh,
May. They're
but
not giving up on Drake May.
They got Milton too. Like, nah, I think they're
I mean,
definitely going to
I'm just talking about
experiment.
just. I mean, have they shown you what was the Patriots
The
record?
record had nothing to do with the quarterback though. The record because they offensive line is, I mean, it is bad. They're not worried about their quarterback. I'm not. I told y'all I've never been sold on Drake May, but I will say he was not their issue last year. Their issue was everything else. I mean, I think they ain't got no weapons either.
Never sold on Drake, man. And that's another team that refuses to just get nice people. Like,
Yeah,
bruh,
yeah.
just
They've
Do it.
always been. They've
Like
always been that way.
it's always like they always have do it. I think they try to outsmart themselves, and it's just like,
Yep.
bro, can you just like how come over all these years the Patriots haven't brought in a Justin Jefferson,
Hmm.
Jamar Chase, all these dynamic young
Well, they
Malik
did bring
Neighbors,
in Randy Moss once.
like
You
how
saw
did
what that did. Yeah,
yeah
they had
they
a
almost
heck
a
of a
Super
year.
Bowl
Yeah.
undefeated
Yeah,
Super Bowl like.
yeah,
But it's
yeah.
just like, what over all these years, how come you guys just haven't just gotten a guy like just
But then that kind of goes back to what I be saying too. Like, it's not always about the money because you could most teams just look and have the money, but it's like, does somebody want to go there? Like,
well, if you draft him, you don't got no choice, Vernon.
no, I'm
That
not talking about drafting. I'm talking about
That's
like,
what I'm talking about. I'm
I'm
talking
just.
about
I thought you were
drafting.
talking about free agent, like bringing
No,
somebody.
no, 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 no. Well, I mean, guys like Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson aren't going to hit free agency. So now I was talking
no,
about like
no,
drafting.
yeah,
Like,
Or
no.
even like you said, even trading. Like, I mean, guys like Diggs and like Randy Moss, people move like receivers move around. Like, I mean, shit, Adams. You know what I mean? Like, these guys
yeah,
are going for third, fourth, fifth, sixth picks. Like Cooper. Like, these guys, these number ones move around, and it's like they they, they don't want to go to a New England, and I don't know why they don't want to come to.
I
I
don't.
think, I think it's more so that New England don't want them, man, because like guys is trying to get paid, bro. Like I don't think Cooper Cup just turns down. Like people aren't. I think personally, you may put a little bit more into that. I just can't see that. Like
Well,
I
don't
don't see
forget,
why.
Brandon
When have
Ayuk
we
had a
ever?
chance to go to New England, and he did
When
turn
have
them
we
down.
ever
That's
hear
what I'm
about
saying.
guys in free agency just? Oh, I'm not going there. I don't want to go there. Like
You don't think if when you hit the free agent market, you don't tell your you. That's why you hear like a
uh,
guy's top landing spots.
I don't
That's
believe it that
them
much.
talking to
Like,
their agent, telling them.
I don't. Well, in that, of course, people have preferred. I don't want to get it misconstrued. Of course, people have preferred landing spots, but I don't think there's a situation where if a team put this offer on the table for this amount of money, and you say, "Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for, money," I just don't want to go there. So no, I don't. Nah.
I would say you're right in majority of situations, but the example was last year with Brandon Ayuk. Because don't forget, the
Hmm.
Patriots did give him exactly what he wanted, and he turned it
But I
down
mean, he
because
wanted to
he
stay
wasn't
with
sure.
where he
But
was,
he wanted
though.
to stay where he was, and he
That,
wanted to
yeah,
go. He
that's
wanted to play with a good quarterback. So I
Yeah,
don't
that's the
knock him for
difference
that. That's
between
yep.
if I'm currently somewhere like of course like I want to stay where I am, but if I'm a free agent and I'm clearly not going back to that team
Oh,
and
then they're
somebody
taking
else
the money,
put
like you said. They're taking the
yeah,
money,
like
no matter where it's at.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
don't
see
matter.
that.
Nah,
Granted, I don't know everything. I've been wrong before, I'm gonna be wrong some more. I don't know. I don't got all the answers, but that's just kind of hard for me to like
they
just
about that
see
money.
somebody
I'm
doing
with
that.
you. They about that money. I think they'll
Yeah, like
true free
And being
agents.
and being a, and I mean, if you just don't care, I mean, yeah, you could just follow the money. But I think
I can't see one organization that bad
receivers
where somebody would just
always look at who's going to be throwing them the ball. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
a lot of
are
times
they
it's
gonna
not
get
just
touched? Like, are you
interest,
gonna be productive? Yeah, because you can get the money, not be productive, and then be out of a job.
or you could not get the money at all because you're turning down opportunities. Like they're gonna go get the money every single time.
Yeah, but like again, like you look at somebody like you said, the Brandon Ayuk situation, like you could just chase the money, like, and you was the number two option at that time on San Francisco, just to stay there, to stay number two option and turn down the money. Like a
But it's
healthy
funny.
Depot is number one.
But it's funny because now you're hearing San Fran's they want to trade Ayuk, and I said this last year when this whole situation came. I never would have gave him that money anyway. But I also don't see Ayuk as a number one receiver. Not not
Mhm.
not in my opinion. He's not that kind of guy. There's only a few anyway,
You said
but he's
Rogers to
not.
Cleveland would be nice.
Nah, nah.
They, I
I
mean,
still
they
believe
got
in
the O
I
line.
still
They
believe
got
in Aaron Rodgers, but y'all know how I am. I still believe in Justin Herbert. So y'all know how I am. Like when I see something good, it's kind of hard to come off of it. But
My mine
I
is
think
less
he will
about
win in
Rodgers though.
Cleveland. Honestly, like I don't
My
want him to go to Cleveland.
Well, here's the thing though, Jared. On that, the reason why I say the Cleveland thing is not that I don't think Aaron Rodgers can still be an effective quarterback. They're another team similar to what you said. They've tried some things. They got to stop going down that route.
I think
You
yeah,
got
and
so
it's
much into
culture too.
Deshaun.
I
You
think that's
tried with
culture
yeah,
problems
just
in
yeah.
Cleveland.
Like
I don't
I
think it's
don't
just
I
QB.
don't
Yeah,
think yeah I don't think that's what they need. Um, because that's also just another stopgap. You know what I'm saying? They actually need to find a solid option at quarterback that's going to allow for them, you know, these next 5, 10 years, hopefully, to have a stable quarterback in that organization so they have some stability at the position. Because that's the one thing they have not had.
Definitely.
But I think it also starts in the front office too. Like,
Oh, they
there's,
got a
I
horrible
mean,
front
like
office. Horrible.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Cleveland, like sometimes the quarterback and just don't want to deal with that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just knowing the history of people front office, you don't want to deal with that. Especially
No.
Rodgers, you done been around forever. Like you don't want to deal with that.
Nah.
You know what I
Nah.
mean? So that's why you look at the Philadelphias, the Baltimores, the Tampas, like some of these staple franchises who have these, prestige front offices, then players want to be there because they know what they stand for. And then you just got some places that people just don't want to be. They don't want to coach there. They don't want to be there. Like quarterbacks don't want to play there. Players dread going there. Like, and it's always something. And it's like for Cleveland to be in that position to have so many top draft picks, and it's just you just can't get right. Eventually, it's not on the field. Eventually, you got to start looking at front office. And like you said, like even what you be saying with Cincinnati, like drafting and things of that nature in the front office, it got to be something else because you got the players, you know what I mean, and you done changed coaches a million times. Like eventually, the front office need to change, and I think a lot of teams are coming to realize that pivot point in their seasons. Even the coach. Like I think, hey, they're starting to see, all right, maybe Ballard ain't it. You know what I mean? Like,
Some ownership is bad. You can't fire an
yep,
owner. That's the problem.
yep,
That's the problem. Ownership, that mess trickles down. It really
yep.
does. So that's why some organizations can't get it together because their ownership is terrible. So
And some presidents of
yep,
football operations,
yep.
the people above the GM, like you know what I mean, that filler between the owner and the GM, like there's a lot too that goes into it. But nonetheless, I want to also talk about free agency. Some of the top free agents that's going to be available since we was already talking about some of the top. Ronnie Stanley from the Ravens. He's gonna be 31 going into the 2025 season.
I
Top.
wouldn't bring him back. Plus, he stayed hurt. After they gave him that new contract, he stayed hurt. And I get it. He's a left tackle. Blah 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 blah. They gotta move on. Unless he's coming back at a really 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 cheap amount, they got to go ahead and move on. He's kind of like Tyron Smith, if you ask me. He's not as bad as Tyron has been these last couple of years, but he's on the back end of that career, and Stanley ain't been the same. So
Like I said, wide receivers, Chris Godwin is gonna be out there. Sam Darnold. What does Sam Darnold end up?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, maybe he goes to the Browns.
Yeah.
nah, you can't put all that money in your quarterback room.
I mean, I think Deshaun is done,
He
and then
might
I
be,
also don't
unless
think
there's a
you're
way
gonna
to
have
get
to
out of
pay
that
Darnold.
contract.
I don't think you're gonna have to pay Darnold.
They're saying Darnold's gonna get 40 on the market.
Damn, really?
Yeah, yeah. They're
That's
saying
gonna
he's gonna
glad to
be
save
around
money
that.
in our minds.
Yeah, they're saying he's gonna
Mine.
be around 35 to 40 million plus on the market. So, um,
Just think he gonna be getting paid more than Saquon.
mhm,
Double, damn near double. I mean, come
yep,
on.
and he's
Threw
definitely not nearly as
Let's
valuable.
get
threw for over 4,300
leave
yards,
that
35
career.
touchdowns. He ranked fifth in the league in both. He just when they in their losses, he just played just
Really bad.
Terrible.
really bad. That's the only thing that
And
was
that's
bad.
what you got to stay away from, bro. Give me middle of the not above middle of the pack, but consistency. Quarterbacking is about playing quarterback is about consistency.
Hmm.
Like even if you are real great, but your lows is too low,
I
that just
can't do it.
don't.
Nope,
That's
I
that's
can't do it.
that's almost kind of the same with Will Howard. Like I don't even think his highest was super high, but his low when he made mistakes, they were like grade school mistakes. It's just like dog. I don't care if you throw 6 touchdowns this game, but if you throw that pick in that situation with your back against the end zone, like you're fried, bro. That's not.
And that's what I think we was talking about like a week or two ago when I was talking about the Carson Wentz effect. Like, yes, if you look at his numbers, he had a really good season. But then it's like when he did play bad, it was just in moments where we just didn't need it. Like it was just like, oh, ah,
Right. And
Carl
that's why
was limping
ultimately
again.
I'll let you have that I'll let you have that conversation every single time because that's your team. You've watched more reps than I have. So like I can go, well, he did this on the season, but if you say, nah, bro, situationally, he when we needed it, boom, you got that. Just like
Yeah,
that's the same thing with me and Trey Hendrickson. Like I watched every snap. Like, bro, you could get 20 sacks, but if a lot of the time you're not being effective outside of those 17 reps that you get sacks on, bro, we need something else, bro. Like, what are you doing
Okay.
against the run game? What are you doing setting the edge? Like what else? What else are you doing? Like,
So Jerry, you kind of just answered the question I was going to ask you, but I think
what's up?
from your statement, you're probably in the same boat as me. Because all with Cincinnati, are they going to keep T or not? And talking about Trey and he wants more money. My whole thing was this: I said
they just
Trey
franchise
sacks
tagged him.
numbers. They franchise tag T. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
I said Trey got the sacks, and again, that's part of the game. I'm not knocking it. I just don't see him as being a top edge in the league.
He's
I'm sorry.
not,
He
and
doesn't do
nobody will
enough.
tell you that. I
Yeah, he
mean,
doesn't do enough.
he got first team all NFL, but bro, nobody's gonna say Trey Hendrickson, Miles Garrett. Oh,
No.
Trey Hendrickson. Nobody's gonna say Trey Hendrickson,
Nick
T.J.
Bosa.
Watt.
Yeah.
Nobody's
TJ
gonna
Watt.
say
Like
that.
none of that. No. No.
Nobody's gonna say that, bro. And
Mm-mm.
that's just, I mean, I don't really even know what else to say about it. Like nobody's picking Trey Hendrickson over T.J. Watt.
No.
Nobody's picking him over Miles Garrett.
No.
Um, nobody's probably not even picking him over Max Crosby.
No.
Okay,
No. No. No.
so
No.
with that being said, do you pick him over Josh Sweat?
Yes.
I'm not familiar. Like I don't really.
I'll say him and Josh are probably about on that
I'm
same
not really
same
super
level
tapped
in
in.
my
I
opinion.
apologize.
What about Khalil Mack?
Nah.
Nah,
Khalil,
Khalil Mack is kind of. I don't know. Hey, if somebody say, "Hey, we're trading Trey Henderson for Khalil Mack," I'm with it. I'm rolling.
What
Like,
Khalil
about
does a
okay?
good
What,
job of setting the edge, and Khalil's doing this at what, like 34?
right, and I also know that when he gets his hands on somebody, he's probably gonna make that tackle. Sure
Correct.
tackler. I can't say that about Trey Henderson. I've seen him. He should have more sacks than he had. I've seen him get close. It's like, how is this 180-pound quarterback slipping out of your grasp? Like, what? What? But that's the whole defense, though. None of them are sure tacklers, so can't even really put that on Buddy. But I've just seen enough reps where I'm like, yo, what is this guy doing?
what about Hassan Reddick?
Like I said, I'm not. I don't
I
really
give it
know.
to
Like
Trey.
I
I
don't.
give it to
I
Trey.
haven't watched enough of a lot of these guys,
And
bro.
the only reason why I'm saying that because these are the top edges in free agency.
I'm
So it's
just.
like if
I'm.
you don't give him the money, would you give it to you know what I mean? Would you bring
No.
in another one of
Yeah,
these guys in his
no,
Nobody
position?
that you're
it really
nobody
just
that you're
depends on
saying.
what the money's looking
Okay,
like. I don't really even know what Trey Hendrickson wants. Like, I don't even know what he wants. I don't know how what he wants compares to
All right, let me
what
ask you
other
this.
guys. I
If
don't
the
know.
Let me ask you this, Jared. If
fair
the
enough.
let's say, because I don't know the market off the top of my head, but let's just say the market right now for an edge is 30. Are you giving him anywhere close to 30?
Man, hell no.
Are you giving him 20?
I mean, I guess it would have to see how everything else folded around. Like, are you talking about in the current Bengals situation?
Yes.
Sure.
Because nothing's changed for y'all's Bengals. That's the
It's so
problem.
crazy. It's really hard to say
Everything's the
because
same.
one we draft so bad.
Yes, you do.
Two, we literally need guys at every single
Yes,
position.
you do.
That's unreal.
And y'all
Like
don't do a good job of developing talent at my opinion. Like nothing.
nothing. And
No.
then it's crazy, like I always say, and you got the idiot Bengal fans that, oh, we can't drive, but we got Jamar check. That's not what I'm
Come on,
talking
anybody
about.
could have
Like
got Jamar and
the game,
Joe. Like
right?
Right, right.
The games are won in that second day. Those middle rounds, what you
that's
do in those
why.
middle
Yep.
rounds determine how good your team is.
Yep.
Anybody can pick. We can't even pick a first rounder. But
That's
anybody
crazy.
can get somebody in the first round, first 5 picks, and you know, and do all right. But like, what about that 20th overall pick? What
Yep.
about that
When
second
you
round,
get into the
third round,
later
fourth
rounds,
round
like
pick?
those diamonds in the roughs, like
Yep.
Yeah, that's you gotta have those, bro. You gotta have those diamonds in the roughs, and we've never hit on one.
Yeah.
We've never hit on one. The best draft picks that I can give Bengals credit for in the past, I would say 10 to 15 years, is we got T. Higgins in the second round. Granted, it was high second round, if I'm not mistaken. 30, it was like, I think it was 30 something overall.
I
and
believe so.
Andy Dalton was, I think, a second or a third rounder. And I mean, he
He
had
was
a
decent.
successful
Yeah, he was
career,
decent.
quote
Hmm.
unquote. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
whatever. Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
was I a fan? No, but did he? Can he pat himself on the back for having a successful career? Yes. Like we have, but other than that, like I can't. I, I don't know what else we've done. I mean, that this goes back to like early 2000s. It's like you can't. So to make a long story short, I don't even. I mean, I guess you would have to give him 20 because we can't draft anybody to replace him. We
Yeah.
can't get it right. We keep
And like
drafting.
you just said, none of the. I mean, I just named the top 6 guys in free agency at edge. You say you wouldn't trade them out for none of those guys.
I would. No, I said I didn't know. I didn't say.
No,
I
I mean,
didn't
I'm just
know.
saying. I mean, wait.
Yeah, I didn't. I just said I didn't know. Like I don't really. I got to look at these guys and see what they've done, and I don't know. Like
No,
I'm
I
gonna
don't
just be
think.
honest. I ain't gonna sit up here and act like I know every single defensive line. I know my guy isn't worth being the highest paid edge, but I mean I don't know about
Mhm.
all these guys. Like
Yeah, none of
if
them guys that you
if,
named are top
if I
edges.
could get some of those guys or a combination of those guys cheaper than what Trey Hendrickson wants, yeah. Is Trey Hendrickson just a crucial part or a non-negotiable? He has to come back. No. Am I
I,
willing to run it back with
Is,
somebody else? Yeah.
is Chase Young a free agent?
you said Chase Young.
Chase Young. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think he's already agreed with somebody though.
Really?
I
I missed
think.
that one.
I didn't see that one
Let me.
because I thought his deal with the Saints this past year was a 1 year deal.
Okay, no, you're right. No, he is. Dang, he was far down. He is 38th on the
Yeah,
top 100. But yeah, no, he's 26. Yeah, he 5.5 sacks with the season, 46 pressures, top for 11 most in the league. I mean,
he's a guy that I said physically when he was obviously coming up out of college, he had everything you would want.
Oh
But
yeah, for sure.
I think he has to be paired in the right system. I'm gonna go ahead and say it, and
mhm.
it's not because of oh, you're a Ravens fan.
Nah, we don't do that on the show.
They could do for him what they did for Clowney. They can finally get the potential out of Clowney, I think, in Baltimore out of him, just because their system usually allows for edge rushers to really kind
Or
of,
Or
yeah,
even how they did with Justin Houston too. Like
Yep, yep, yep.
he could
Even I
just
mean,
be
think
that
about it,
guy.
Cal Van Noy. Yeah, I
Yep.
mean, like he needs to. I think Chase has to be smart because he's still young. He has to go to a situation like that if he really wants to get himself in a situation to make some real money. He got to make. Hey, the Saints wasn't the right choice, pimp. You got to make another choice and be smart this time about where you go, where it's going to really allow you to excel.
because you got to look
Somewhere
around you too,
you
man.
got
You
to
got
Yeah,
look
to have
around you. Yes, you got to look at that
again,
other
the
talent.
Saints is another one of those organizations where you just like their front office has never been that. You know what I mean? You always hear those stories, and they always overpay players that pass their prime and just to whatever. Like they should have been did a re-rack, and the Saints they just won't accept it. So no, I agree.
you
I
say a
hate
re-rack.
yeah a
Yeah,
re-rack
he
of that
did.
whole thing. Let me see a re-rack.
That's
I've always
good.
felt that way about the Saints. Like every time when
Re-rack.
Drew Brees left, that's your moment to, and they
Yeah,
just tried to hold on to too long.
man. But these teams got to draft, man.
Yeah, but you,
our
That's a
but
biggest
hard thing
problem.
for them to do.
Even after all of this discussion, I still don't know what the Bengals should do, man. Because I just know that we're gonna use all 7 drafts, and we're not gonna get any impact players out of all 7 drafts. Like we probably have more than 7 picks.
but you know what though?
Oh,
I would actually say that this free agent season, from what I've been looking at, this is the if you want to fix a defense and you want to bring in some quality guys, this is the free agency to do it.
well,
You
then
got
that's
Gotta have the cap to do it
Davis.
though.
No. I'm just saying, like if you're like, hey, look, we don't want to put all this money into Trey Hendricks. Like, okay, like you said, we probably not gonna get the guys we need in the draft, and you just want to bring in, Zach Bryan is out here from Philadelphia, like
System guy.
Green. No, I mean I'm saying like Greenlaw, like I said, all that it's just I named like Murphy
another thing
Jr.,
we're
like
gonna do though.
Hufanga from the Niners. You know what I mean? A good guy you could put at safety, like to kind of shore up that back end. Like there's guys out here that
Another
you
thing we're
can
gonna
reach
do
for.
though is we're gonna wait until all the good free agents are gone, and then we're gonna pick through the scraps. We
Yep,
do
because y'all
this
gonna look for the
every
bargains.
year.
Yep,
Coaches,
y'all look for the
coaches
bargains at
get
the end.
Yeah,
coaches
like
do get lucky in that too.
nobody was on Von Bell's trail. He probably
No,
would have been out of the league if it wasn't for
no.
us.
Mm-hmm.
Another guy. You remember when we signed Nick Smith from the Rams?
Ye-
Nobody was. He probably literally probably wouldn't have been on the roster and we oh yeah, you're gonna be our starting strong safety. Like, you know what I'm saying? We always wait to because I don't even think Trey Hendrickson was a sought after free agent. I mean, he probably would have been on the roster, but when we picked him up, it was days into free agency.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I signed.
you know,
Didn't y'all sign what was it? Orlando Brown a couple years ago?
yeah, but then that's another thing. Um, you a team lets go of a left tackle that's still fairly young. At some point you should be like, all right,
Well, yeah, because Baltimore said, "Look, pimp, you did decent in spot coverage for Ronnie while he was hurt. You're a right tackle." No,
yep.
I'm not. I'm a left tackle. Okay, go ahead. You went to Cincy. You was terrible.
Nah,
And
he went
No,
to
he
the
went to
Chiefs
Kansas
first.
City and won the
oh,
Super
Kansas City.
Bowl.
They
Then
let
And
him
they
they
listen,
let
he
him
was
let
bad.
go.
He
They
was
let him
bad.
go to pay somebody else more.
Yeah, he was
What?
bad in Cincy, or I'm sorry, with the Chiefs. They signed Jawan Williams, if I ain't mistaken, from Jacksonville. Let him go to Cincy, and I'm like, Orlando Brown should have, if he was smart, and that's why I say sometimes they be having the wrong person in their ear. He should have stuck playing right tackle in Baltimore. He would have made a lot of money and had a nice little career. But now, Buddy is yeah, he's putting out that
He
good.
hasn't been ultimate trash with us. Like
He's.
he's been decent.
I'll
Um
say this: he hasn't been what he thought he was.
yeah, nah, is he one of the greatest? No.
No.
But and it's another thing. It's like we keep getting offensive linemen. We still need offensive line. We keep drafting DBs. I seen a man. Hold on one sec. I'm gonna pull up this picture. Some idiot in one of these little Bengals groups on
Oh
Facebook.
man.
I
Oh man.
seen this, and I was like, bro, you have got to be kidding me. So
Another
this dude
defensive
was
lineman.
like, Dax Hill needs to play the slot. DJ Turner and Cam Taylor Britt at the corners, Jordan Battle and Stone at safety. I said, man, I said that sounds disgusting. Like you can't seriously think that that's like. I'm like, oh my, weird.
But
It's an illness,
I
bro.
mean, again, like,
All those guys suck. All of them
yeah, but
all suck.
you got somebody like Sante Samuel Jr. that's out there. Like,
Go get him.
like this guy's out here.
Yeah, they need to go get
Cameron
But he
Bynum
a zone
at
guy.
safety. I mean, but
He
I'm
gotta
just
be
you
willing to play
need
zone.
somebody.
I'm
You,
saying like, but you can't put Asante in man. He's just
I'm
not
just
very
saying though, you
strong in
got a
man.
new defensive coordinator. So
Yeah.
like I'm just saying, like y'all are creating a situation where you can bring in new young
Yep.
guys
Yep.
and,
Yep.
and
For
try to
sure.
create a new culture, you know what I mean? As that Cincinnati defense. That's all I'm saying. This guy and it's guys out here, Rashawn Douglas, like there's guys out, Nick Bolton from the Kansas City. Like
bro,
there's a guys out here.
bro, we're not gonna get the best guy at any position. I mean,
I feel your pain, bro. I'm look,
we've been doing
do
this
the
as long
same
as
thing.
I've been alive, bro. So like all of those
Same
guys
thing.
are gonna get signed the first couple days of free agency, and then we're gonna start signing guys like after everybody's been picked through. We're gonna get like it happens every year.
And we're gonna get the guys after you.
Damn,
That's what the coaches do. Like
crazy.
we just don't do it.
That's
We
nuts.
don't spend money. We're always one of them teams that's always never even close to the cap. We're always 25 to 30 mil above the cap every year, no matter what.
Every team has their issue though, because like y'all have heard me say this. Even with Baltimore, Baltimore is probably where DeAndre Hopkins ends up. Well, why? Because they like to go get old receivers who are
That is
past their
so.
prime.
Hey,
That
but
is
you
just
got Cooper.
so.
Blows
Look, you
my
got
mind.
Cooper out there. You got Stephon Diggs out there. You got Devontae Adams out there.
And none of them are appealing to me except for
I'm just saying,
Devontae.
all these guys are free agent. Like,
But Devontae's gonna want too much money.
yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's
Darius
gonna.
Slayton
I
is
don't
gonna
think
be
he's
out
gonna
there.
command money himself out of the league, though.
No, 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 not out of the league. But I'll say he'll price himself out of Baltimore.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I see
Yeah,
what
he'll
you're saying.
price himself out of Baltimore because I mean
Yeah.
Baltimore has a lot of need. Like people keep forgetting Baltimore's DC did a heck of a job fixing that fixing that defense the second half of the year because they were
Mhm.
absolute hot garbage the first half of the year. Like they were the worst defense in the NFL.
Yeah,
He
I
did a
never
good
seen them
job
like that.
patching up the D, but they got some holes to fill. Plus, people got to remember Kyle Hamilton about to come up. Always about to come up. They
Like,
just paid Matt
how
BK.
come we couldn't have got a Cal Hamilton?
Yeah, y'all not that smart. You know how many teams
Bro,
passed on Kyle Hamilton, and I was like, oh, Baltimore's really going to get Buddy. I couldn't believe it because you know why these teams pay so much attention to how fast they run their 40 in their underwear and determine if a guy can play football. That's the
Man, I
dumbest thing I've
swear.
ever seen.
Hey,
It's the
the combine
dumbest
gets
thing
more and more bizarre to me every single
every
year.
year. Every year.
Every year, I'm just more like, what is this?
Oh,
Like,
that's how your guy Will Howard gets the hype. Oh man, he looks the part, guys. He's 6'3", 235, can make
I
every
actually seen a
throw.
video of
Look
him
at the
getting
arm
good.
talent. Look at the arm talent, guys. Like
Sucks, bro.
you
His absolute ceiling. His ceiling is Will Levis. His ceiling is Will Levis.
daggone, daggone, bro.
His ceiling is Will Levis.
Dang, Burn, talk to him, man. He said
Uh
his
uh
ceiling is
Absolute
Will Levis.
ceiling is Will
Daggone.
Levis.
Look, hey,
Mm.
I got my own issues to worry about.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I'm dealing. I'm looking through this top 100 free agent list and thinking about all the people we ain't gonna get.
Yeah, that's fair.
Bro, we
So
ain't gonna
They
get
got
any
some
of
choices
them
to make.
brother.
Yeah,
yeah.
Colts got some
So
choices to
And then
make.
the thing is, we're gonna sign a lot of guys, and then next year, or not even next year, this season, we're gonna need all the same guys. We gonna sign whoever. We draft and sign the same positions, and we need those same positions every year. How long have we been talking about an offensive line for since the Super Bowl? Right? That was
Yeah.
in 2021,
2021. Yep.
2022.
Mm-hmm.
February 2022. Or it's February, it's March of 2025, and we're still talking about offense line. We've taken multiple DBs, all those guys that I just named, Dax Hill, except for Stone,
DJ Turner.
Dax Hill, Cam Taylor Britt, DJ Turner, Jordan Battle. All those guys were drafted within the last 3 years, and we still need a secondary. We need every single position of the secondary.
Yeah, they just
We're
yeah.
guilty of that too.
That's insane, bro.
Same thing. Ours just can't stay healthy. We don't even know what
I
we got
just say
because they
yeah, I
can't
can't.
stay healthy.
You're saying
I
Colts
would take that
can't
over guys
hurt.
being healthy and just sucking.
It's the same thing though.
I would take them not being out there and sucking and them being out there and sucking. Like,
So
at least there's a little bit more of optimism if they weren't healthy. That okay, well maybe when they do. Now our guys are healthy, they just can't guard nobody. You're a corner, you can't like. And then the DJ Turner ran the fastest 40 at that time. When he ran it, it was the
Hmm.
fastest 40. He gets burnt by everybody. He can't guard anybody.
Do you think his scheme has
I
anything to
don't
do
think
with it?
it's
well,
definitely a
we'll
little
find out
bit
because
of
we decided to snatch their defensive coordinator.
Hey, I laughed at that, Vern. I said, "What are y'all thinking?" I ain't
So we'll
saying
agree.
Buddy. I ain't saying Buddy bad, but he didn't do nothing to help Cincy, and he didn't do nothing to change or not. Like he just that defense got tore up from beginning to the end. So
Hey,
for an
what I tell
organization
Coach
to go
fans,
grab him, that,
hey, no. Hold on, no. What I tell Colts fans is they'll be like, "Hey, man, so how was he?" Hey, his guys were so bad, I can't even blame him. If our guys were like even somewhat good, I would probably be okay. Well, he ain't.
Well,
Our guys can't do anything.
but
I
here's
mean,
the
they
thing.
can't
we'll
tackle.
definitely
They
see
can't
in
cover.
Indy
They
because
can't play
our
man.
guys are
They can't play
somewhat
zone.
good.
No,
Somewhat.
we just didn't have good players. I don't even know what we expected. I forget his name now. Lou Anaramo. I don't know what we expected him to do.
We
Here's
have
my thing,
one.
though.
We have one guy at each level on the
We
defense.
didn't have none of it. Well,
That's what I'm just saying.
pretty
So,
much
so
whatever.
you'll get. So at the Colts, we'll see because we're slightly better
And
player wise.
y'all got linebackers that fly around. Like you said, they were kind of undersized, which I didn't disagree with that. But they fly. Zaire's flying around. EJ
Yeah,
Speed is flying around. Like we had none of that, bro. Like we had none of that.
that's what I'm saying.
So
So we'll see if he can coach because
I can't even
you'll
crap
have
on him.
slightly better personnel.
He might be fired. I know players like him. He just didn't have the guys this year, bro. Like
But
there's
what Vernon
nobody
just
on
said.
our defense that was like, okay, yeah, he's cold. Not one person.
What Vernon just said though is what I said as well. I said we're gonna find out if he can actually coach or not because the Colts have some talent on their defense.
Mm-hmm.
If they can actually stay healthy, we would actually be able to see what they really could look like.
And this
I
is
mean, they need
like
some
I said, the
things, but
DBs, like outside of our DBs, like
y'all need a safety bad though.
our front seven stayed relatively healthy. And to
Yeah,
sign Blackman back, he stayed relatively healthy because usually he's one of the first ones hurt. And he
yeah,
probably
they got
was
to get a safety though.
between him and Kenley Moore was probably only two playmakers we had in the secondary.
Yeah, y'all got to get Colts got to get a safety though. They need a playmaker at safety. They need a guy
Yeah.
who can
And see,
cover that whole back end.
I think they want Cross to be that. But
Yeah,
like I said, I
they
think
do.
you
They do.
but you have to scheme him because he was he was second on our team in tackles. Like he can hit,
Yeah. He
but
gets
his
some tackles.
coverage, like he's not a good.
Yeah.
I think he's more
No.
of a man than zone. So like I think he'd be better as a nickel. You know
I
what I
can
mean?
see that.
Than
I can see that.
as a
Yep.
free safety.
I can see that.
You know what I
Like
mean?
you
Because
said,
we don't play
scheme.
in the box enough.
We're gonna see what the scheme looks like too. Like you
Yeah.
said, maybe this scheme helps him too. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Because there's like you said, Colts got every team got something to fix. Obviously, even Philadelphia got something to fix.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
because they done lost a lot of guys on
yes,
defense.
they have. Yes, they have. So
They just
they
cut.
going.
They just cut Slay.
I
Their
get
defensive
that
line
though.
is about to be totally different. They just lost Braun, which that's crazy. He's probably one of your best defensive players.
Well, here was your thing. This is the first year that Bronze actually had like success in the league like that. So my thing is just not saying that he ain't good. Depending on how much he wants. So they ain't lost him. He's just a free agent.
Yeah,
So
but if
I
you
mean, he
just,
still
I mean,
gets
if you
time
develop,
back.
yeah, that's true.
And they ain't. I mean, think about this: Milton Williams and Josh Sweat are free agents on the defense, right? But
Yep.
Philly has done such a good job of providing depth. People keep forgetting they got Jordan Davis, they got Jalen Clark, they got Nolan Smith Jr. still there.
Yeah.
They still got guys to make plays, and if they
Yeah,
get
you're right.
Nakobe Dean back healthy, you still got a linebacker. You got Quinyon Mitchell, you got Cooper DeJean. You still got guys at every level that can play. So they
Mhm.
may have lost some talent, but they're getting cheaper. They got cheaper talent
They're
coming
getting
Drafting.
back
cheaper.
in
They're getting cheap.
They
They,
by
can
yeah,
draft.
that's
drafting
what I said.
well.
They won in front office.
By
They know how to
drafting
draft
well,
very well.
correct. And they
They
got
can put
one
all
further.
first rookie. They could put all rookie contract guys out there,
Yes, they
and
can. Yep. Yeah, and that's gonna be the thing. Like, depending on how they draft, they're gonna be good again because their biggest strength was the offensive line. So as long as they continue to keep that strong, they're gonna have a chance year in because that defense with I'm sorry with Carter and Davis, bro. Them two boys, man. They woo. I think they're gonna try to keep Milton Williams too. I think they'll let Josh Sweat leave, but I think they'll probably end up trying to keep Milton Williams. Or if somehow these fools find a way to get Miles Garrett, my goodness. My goodness. Add him to that defensive front. Woo!
But again, you like this is what I mean. Like when I talk about players wanting to be somewhere, and when you're of that statue, like you done been somewhere where like Cleveland. It's like, dude, if I'm leaving Cleveland, I'm like, dude, I'm not going somewhere where I'm gonna lose again for money. I've already
No, no, no,
lost.
no, no,
I've
no.
already lost for money.
Yeah.
Like now, I'm at the point where I've already proven myself. I want to go somewhere and win. Like I,
that's when you see guys taking huge pay cuts, though.
yeah, but depending on the situation, if I'm Miles Garrett, I'm like, all right, I'm going somewhere where you can't double me every play.
That's what it is. I think he wants to go somewhere where he's getting the singles now.
You
He's
can't.
getting you
Yeah,
can't just double and key in on him because everybody else is gonna tear that butt up. So that's why his problem is he still got 2 years under contract in Cleveland. So unless he figures out a way to force his way out, he's stuck. He's stuck. Oh,
and guess what? Stars of that caliber always find a way.
Yeah,
I
he'll
think
get
so.
out.
I think
They
He'll
so.
get out.
they
I think
always find a way.
But what do we talk about too, though? Bad organizations. What do? They try to hold talent hostage versus getting something in return and start making the change that you can, in your organization. Because here's the thing: y'all have had Miles Garrett for what 7 years. Y'all ain't won nothing. Y'all ain't did nothing with him. So guess what? Not having him ain't gonna change too much. Y'all been bad with him.
That's it.
Right.
And then when a player gets fed up and
What,
requests a trade, what
Yep.
do?
Yep.
Like you
So
at the mercy of the court.
yep.
But nonetheless, okay, all right.
what do
We
Gotta
y'all
move
think?
on.
What do you
go ahead.
real quick? I don't want to keep y'all too long. What do y'all think happens with T Higgins?
The same thing that happened with Dak Prescott, but worse.
What do
You
you mean?
you, you franchise tagged him twice when you could have just paid him and, like you said, got him for cheaper. But now you franchise tagged him the second time. So
They do
now,
that to Dak too?
yes,
I
that's
don't
why
know.
Dak got all that
Yeah,
money
yeah, yeah.
on
That's
that
why I got
second
fixed.
franchise tag, and then
Yep.
they had to add a long-term contract onto that.
Uh,
He got paid like 80 million one season
Yeah,
because of the
that got
franchise
dumb
tag
money
in his
because of that
season
franchise.
and the
Yep.
and the guaranteed money.
Yep.
And that's why everybody was like talking about Jerry Jones, like that's the dumbest deal you could ever make because he was a fourth round pick. You could have signed him when you seen that he was clearly better than Tony Romo.
right.
Like you could have signed him that year, and then he waited. So I think the only thing that makes this worse is that you could have he requested you could have got something for him. Now with this second franchise tag, you're not going to get anything for him after this year.
I think that they end up potentially doing a sign and trade.
I don't think they're smart enough to pull it
That's
off.
what and that's I thought that too, Justin. When I first heard when I said I was like they franchise tagging again. I'm like, oh, they probably just trying to keep him around long enough to work out a deal with some other team. But who does it?
And then it's
I mean,
like,
Give,
all
I
right,
and
think
give him and
if
give him
T
the and
Higgins,
give him the money that I hate to say it again, the market. Not
he's the
he's
only
not he's not
receiver. He's the only receiver I think that would have hit free agency that wouldn't have had a problem getting that money because he's so young.
okay.
yeah,
So
nah.
now you gotta try to trade him to a team, knowing and this team knowing that he doesn't want to be on your team. You about to get
I don't think I no, but the
about to
thing
get
is,
messed
I think
up.
with T
He
legitimately
wants
wants
to
to
be there.
be
He wants
on
to be
the.
with the Bengals. Yeah, he
All
wants
I'm
to be
saying
there.
is
He
He
wants
because
to
just
he
be
wants
there.
to
already
get
requested.
paid.
I'm just saying he already requested a trade. I'm
No,
talking
he
about
didn't
like we
request
can
a
put that
trade.
out there, huh?
He didn't request a trade.
I could have swore last year he requested trade.
Nah,
Oh, I guess
maybe he.
I heard wrong.
I
I
know
could
Trey
have swore he
Hendrickson
did.
did. I don't. No, I don't think. I don't think T Higgins requested a trade. I
So
could
at
be
the
wrong.
beginning of last season he didn't.
I could be wrong.
Okay.
But I don't. I don't recall that. But I know he does now. He wants to be with Cincy. Like, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he's made that clear.
Joe Burrow wants him there.
Yeah,
They
Jamar
want
Chase
him
does
there.
too.
Jamari wants him because he makes it easier for Jamar.
Because
Are
hey,
we? Are we going? Well, we're
that's
gonna.
that's the only knock on Jamar. It gets spooky for Jamar when Higgins is.
When
If you look at the numbers
yep,
when Higgins is not out there on the field, bro,
yep.
it
I
gets
said that, Jared.
spooky. And
Yep.
it's like,
But with that though, okay then. Since y'all want him here, how much of y'all money are y'all willing to give up?
Joe already said he's willing to restructure his deal.
but then they say the Bengals and Chase are far apart, whatever
Yep.
that means. So I'm just like, bro,
I think Chase wants to reset the receiver market.
Yep.
do it. I
Um,
mean, whatever, bro. But I mean, it's just like, what do you really want though? I
that
mean, do you
that's
want the
that's
man's
my
there,
question. That's
or
my question. Yep,
you
I would
know?
ask him. We can give you more than Justin, but T's gone. Or we can give you 30. We can give you good guarantees, and then we can still have enough to give T his 20 that he wants a year or whatever, and keep you
I
both
think he
here
wants
with
more
Joe.
than 20.
Yeah, because now he getting 29 on a franchise tag.
But here's the thing. I think he would take now here. This is just me thinking. I don't think it's the annual that the guys get wrapped up in. It's the guarantees.
Yep.
So can you structure it around where it comes out as 20, but he just getting more guaranteed money than he would have had you paid him 30 a year?
Right. But see
Yeah.
now, and that's why I'm saying you got to look back to the Dak Prescott situation. So now that you done franchise tagged him, that 29, that's guaranteed. You got to give him that. So now if you do a contract now, whatever you guarantee him in that contract, that goes together. Now you got to pay both in 1 year. So that's why I say what makes it hard for them, for the Bengals, because you got Chase over here talking that, like you said, Triple Crown winner, probably gonna want to reset the market. So now you're in a situation where T. Higgins could possibly get more than Chase the first year.
I don't think they care about that.
I'm just saying, like, which is crazy. You
I mean,
They
not
ain't
really
shit.
given how the NFL money works. I mean, there's a lot of guys who ain't worth it. They make a lot more than guys that are better. But at the same token, I get what you're saying. I think ultimately is this: Cincinnati's just a bad organization. They're just like
Terrible.
Dallas and some of these other ones. They wait too long to sign these guys. Then you're mad at where the market drives the money, and everybody uses the market. But I've said this before. I've said it again on this show. I don't care what the market is. I judge guys based upon their performance. That's why I say I
Yep.
don't care if the market says, "Oh, Purdy should get 55." Purdy ain't worth 55 to me.
I ain't giving it to you.
I'm not
there's
giving it to you.
I'm gonna
So
there's a
you
find
can go
chance.
out,
somebody
find
else.
you a team that's gonna give you 55,
Yep.
and I'll
I
go
got
find
you
me
in the
another
seventh
quarterback.
round.
Yep,
I could get
I
somebody
get
else.
somebody else.
There's a chance that if since you want to keep both of those receivers, they can be paying 80 million in receivers, 80 million in
Nah,
receiver contracts
that
in
won't
1 year.
happen. That won't
I
I'm
don't
happen.
just
think it
telling you.
goes over 70.
Okay,
I mean, even if you
but that's
get
his
Chase
chase. But
40, that's still a lot of money, though. That's a lot of money.
But
And
here's
then
the
my
thing.
thing is this. This is another thing that you got to look at. We had all those guys this year, and we
And
didn't
look
make
what
the
happened.
playoffs.
Yep.
So it's almost like, that whole run it back. Oh, let's run it back. That's if you get close to
Yep.
winning it all.
and you got to shore up the defense somehow
Yeah, you can't just we gonna
Well,
run it back and we
because it
miss the
clearly was
playoffs.
this clearly was a defensive struggle year for like there's no
Oh yeah.
they
question
put
about what
Cincinnati
you
put up
have
points.
to do.
It wasn't the
It
points.
definitely wasn't the offense.
Granted, the
No.
defense got better towards the end of the season, but the
Yeah.
defense was
It was too
terrible.
late.
It was terrible.
So you got to
Literally
do
terrible.
something with the defense. You got Henderson, Trey Hickerson. He leaning over your shoulder. looking at the checkbook. Like you
And
got
we still don't have a number 3 receiver.
that's what I'm saying. You got Higgins right here, just like, look, y'all franchise tagging me again. Like, what we doing this year or next year? Eventually, y'all gonna have to give me a contract. You got Chase, who just won the Triple Crown. He's like, look, I'm looking. Jefferson ain't did this yet. I done something he ain't done yet. So you gonna shortchange me? Like,
Also, this is
a
another
lot of
aspect
hands
I
out.
think of. Just because we tagged T Higgins, he hasn't signed it yet. So
Nope.
technically speaking, we can still negotiate a contract with him and not have to pay that
Yep.
franchise.
Yep.
And we've just designated him as the franchise player. Not you get what I mean in terms
Yeah.
of financially speaking,
But
but
then
they
you
can
gotta
still
look at
agree to a long-term deal that goes in place of that franchise.
right. But then if I can get the franchise tag at 29, that means when we do my contract, you gonna guarantee me less than 29?
For
Well,
no,
annually, yeah, you're gonna
I
get
mean,
more
No, I'm
guaranteed
talking
money.
about guaranteed. We talking about guaranteed up front. What's going to be paid
yeah,
this season?
he's gonna be getting more than
You're gonna
29
get 9 million.
guaranteed
But
anyway.
that's why I'm saying if you do him and
Hey,
Chase,
he also would rather have a long. He would if you say okay, I got he's gonna want the long term
right?
deal over a franchise at where
I
however
agree.
you slice it.
And I'm just talking about. I'm not talking about the long term. I know he wants a long term deal. I'm talking about the guaranteed money. I'm talking about what would have to be paid this year. That's all I'm talking about.
Yeah, but he's not gonna sacrifice the long term deal for a 1 season guaranteed money. He's not gonna do that.
No,
No, I'm talking about matching the money. I'm just saying if he's looking at a
he's not
franchise,
worried about it.
I don't think that's a
Nah.
he's
concern.
not worried about nobody's okay.
He's
He's not
also
worried
gonna
about
like
guaranteed. We
what
just
kind of
talking.
contract is he gonna sign where he's not gonna get 30 million guaranteed?
He's gonna get more than that.
He's gonna get
I would if I had to guess,
Go
he's
ahead.
probably gonna sign a 4 year, $100 million deal with 50 million guaranteed or something.
yeah,
Like
he
he's gonna
Okay.
get
yeah,
more than 30 million in
Okay.
yeah.
So
I
guaranteed money.
mean,
then, okay. So that's what I'm saying. So then, what do you do with Chase?
you gotta.
What
In
do
my
you
mind,
guarantee him?
I'm saying Chase 40, but then I'm also saying, bro, what you talking about?
Well, we
Like,
guaranteeing up, but we got to. What's the guarantee? That's the money that's gonna be paid up front. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to.
well, guaranteed money is paid all up front.
Not all of it, but that
I was
first
gonna say I
year.
thought guarantee just
That's
means
what.
that you're gonna get it, but I didn't
Yeah,
think
but I'm
you
talking about like like the signing bonus. Like what's up front? Like how
yeah,
much you give him
I
the
don't
signing
think the
bonus?
guaranteed money is a signing bonus. I think those are two
No, it's
different
two
things.
different
No,
things.
I know, but what I'm saying is when you're talking about the first year. So T Higgins, let's say he
You're
gets
talking
the
about if
signing
they
bonus.
sign both of them. You're talking about if they sign both
Yeah,
of them.
that's
What is that? Yeah,
Well,
that's a good question. I don't
technically
know what that
speaking,
signing bonus.
Jamar Chase is still under contract. So that's another thing people forget about. So whatever extension
Oh,
we
actually,
give
yeah,
you,
that'll be
then
for
we will
next
kick
year. It'll
in
hit
for
next year.
next season.
Yep, that's
So
right.
we
That's right.
got, we have, I think he's at 21-5 or something this year. So he's not even a free agent yet. Like he still has a whole nother year of his 5th year option is this season coming up.
do
Yeah,
you
that's
So
right.
it's like they can make it happen.
do you do a hold? Do you think
Every
he do
single
a hold
expert,
in?
huh?
You think he'd be somebody who will hold in?
Uh,
If you don't get a deal done, yeah,
No, I think the deal has to come. You have
Okay,
to sign him
okay.
for an extension this year. But what
I
I'm
agree.
just saying is,
I'm just making
even
sure.
if you do that, it's not going to kick in this year. Like it's
Yeah,
going to kick in
but the
next year.
guarantee, the signing bonus will.
Will it?
No,
Yeah,
not this year. It'll be.
I thought it.
It's, a, it's an extension.
I
I
thought
don't
it
think.
kicked in the year the contract takes effect.
Yeah, because an extension has nothing to do with this year. Like an extension is an extension of his
Yeah,
contract
because
with
the
he's
contract
still
will say
under
for the
contract.
next football season,
Yeah, you
that
might
this
have
is
to give
when
it to
that
him
contract.
then.
Yeah,
So every single expert is saying that the Bengals can do it. They can do it. It's just a matter of will they? And it's just like if people, do y'all think we should? I don't know. With the way we draft, yeah, I see yes because we ain't gonna be able to draft nobody better, and then no because we need more players. But I don't know. This is one of the only sports topics that I don't really even know. I'm just fumbling through the facts like y'all are, and I have no idea what we should do or what we're gonna. I have no idea.
yeah,
Will
that's
we mess it up though? Absolutely, for sure, for sure.
yeah. It's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be interesting. 'Cause, I
Yeah,
mean, when you
we're
think
gonna,
about
we're
it,
gonna screw it up for
yeah,
sure. Even if we do get one of the guys back, somebody's gonna be mad. We're gonna fuck this up. Like we absolutely 100%.
Okay. Well, to be continued, man. Well, did want to talk about you know Kyrie Irving getting hurt, but
That's unfortunate. Shout
yeah,
out to
very
LeBron and
unfortunate.
Luca. That's all I'm gonna say on the basketball.
Yeah, yeah. That sucks. I mean, this has
Yeah,
just been very unfortunate for the Mavericks as an organization. And I heard they just raised prices.
they trying to they on something else down there in Dallas.
Well, you also don't have what you call it as majority owner no more. He's a
Yeah,
minority
they
owner.
on
Mark
some other
Cuban.
stuff.
Yeah,
I've heard some
so,
conspiracies and
I was
they
gonna say,
kind of
have you
make
heard the
sense.
conspiracy about what's really going on in there?
Yeah, they're trying to move out, like trying to
Yep,
move the Mavericks.
yep,
I know they
If
were
they don't
talking
get
about
that,
like
if
some
they don't get that,
casino collaboration down
yep,
there with them and
yep.
stuff.
They want
Like,
to move out so they can get a casino.
yeah, so
crazy.
I
yeah,
don't know how true it is. Obviously, like you said, it's just hearsay. But
I still can't believe they traded Luca, bro.
I can. It's just it goes back to what we said. I now it's starting to come out that almost like that report went right because I the last report said they actually they tried to get Anthony Edwards for Luca.
Yeah, I think
And
they damn near making up shit now.
yeah, so I was gonna say you don't know what's true or not, but my whole thing with
Yeah,
this, if I'm a GM and I'm trading a guy who's probably not even in the prime of his career yet, that people seem to love, um, I'm gonna see what the best deal is I can get. I'm not just trading him to the Lakers. That doesn't make sense. But that's also why, like from a quote unquote conspiracy standpoint, I will admit I'll be like sometimes stuff just seem like something's going on behind the scenes as to why certain things happen. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I'm not mad at it.
I could care less, but it
I
just don't
am a
make
huge
as
Luka
a
fan.
GM, I just think I almost have to fire you as the owner if I find out you didn't have any other conversations and you just traded the franchise guy away.
Because
Uh,
who could you not have gotten for Luca?
that's my thing.
bro.
There's very
You could
few
have
people.
gotten anybody.
There's
It's
very few players.
You could have damn near gotten KD.
you could have
Well,
got
you definitely
anybody.
could have got KD because he's older, but like a young KD, no. That's why Minnesota said no, supposedly on the Ant thing. Because I agree, I wouldn't have traded Ant for Luca either, personally. Um, but it's just
He did
there's
just
not
put
many
your ass out
guys.
the playoffs.
What'd you say?
He did put your ass out the playoffs.
Yeah, but you're talking about teams, bro. You you,
I mean, I'm
you
just
can't
saying,
focus
like
on one player. It's a team thing. Like let's not get
Luca,
sidetracked.
Luca's
Let's not get.
different. He's different.
You're right. Like I'm not gonna debate.
Okay,
I think
okay.
I know. I think I know where I stand on the Luca thing. Very talented offensively, lazy, and doesn't play any defense, and it gets exposed in the playoffs. It is what it is. Whatever. Like there's no doubt in his offensive talent. Period. But we're also not talking about a one-on-one matchup. We're
True.
talking about a team, and Dallas has a really good team. They did last year, which is the reason why they went to the finals. He didn't just put Minnesota out. They went through other teams too. So let's not get that twisted either. So at the end of the day, what happened in the finals? They got that butt whoop, right?
Yeah.
So I can spin this if you want, Vern, but I'm not gonna do that because it's a waste. At the end of the day, like I said, there's very few players I think in the league that you don't trade for. And I understand why Anthony Edwards would be a guy that you don't trade for. Looking for one, he's younger, and there's probably many things that people like about Anthony Edwards that maybe you don't like, that others don't like about Luca. So I get
Man, I don't know. I don't even know about that because I mean, Anthony Edwards is almost like a crash out risk, bro. Like
oh
I
now,
think
yeah,
Luca,
like this
I think
season he been tripping.
longevity wise, I think Luca's still the safer pick, bro. Cause I mean, Luca whines a lot, but like Anthony Edwards almost is like he about to crash out sometimes. Like he's about to talk himself out of the league type. Like I don't know. I,
I, I say
I'm
this.
almost not trading. If I'm Dallas, I'm not even trading Luca for Anthony Edwards. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. I'm,
I'll
I'm
say this. I I
doing it.
I like Anthony Edwards' game more than I like Luca's, but I don't. I'm not.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna like. I understand what you're saying with what you
yeah.
just said, but
The
like,
unpredictability of Edwards.
I'm not.
I
I'm
wouldn't even
not.
say
I'm not
unpredictability.
trading.
He's young and runs his mouth too much. That's it. But that comes with time. That just comes with maturity. So,
Yeah.
it is what it is. I'm not overly concerned personally about that. I would like if Minnesota was willing to trade him, I probably would have did that trade personally. If I'm Dallas, I probably would have did it. But no, I understand why Minnesota wouldn't trade Ant for him.
Nah, I don't. If I'm Dallas, I don't know if I would have. I don't know if I'd have did that.
I
Not for Luka,
wouldn't.
man. Luca's too special. Anthony Edwards is special too. Luca's just. I don't think he's as special as Luca.
I agree.
But I do like Anthony Edwards' game better. I
Yeah.
do enjoy. Luca just don't have a really. His game isn't appeasing. Just like Joker's game isn't. You know what I'm saying? Like it.
Yeah.
Shit, I'd rather
but
watch
it's
Bobby
just
Portis over Joker, but
it's just so effective.
Joker is that guy, like he's super effective. He's just he's
You
that guy.
But you know what I said, Jerry? Like when I had that conversation though, as we were talking about, because I said Joker, even like Sabonis, guys like that, they're not appealing in terms of how they play. They're just effective. You know, they're smart players. But I said the difference for me when it comes to like Joker, like you said, for example, and Luca is Joker's weaknesses don't get exposed the same way as Luca's does.
True.
Joker comes into the season in shape. That brother be out there with them horses doing whatever, but he is lean as all get out when he comes into the NBA. Luca just doesn't seem. My concern is that the concern you have about Ant. My concern is that because the NBA has kind of came so easy to Luca and he's so talented offensively, he turns into a shell of himself earlier than he should because he can just get away with it because he is that daggone talented offensively. He's that daggone
Yeah,
skilled. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
agree with that.
you know,
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree with that.
yeah. No,
I think them boys got a chance though.
who the Lakers?
Yeah, that's a lot of firepower, man. Like we've seen LeBron do it by himself. We've seen Luca do it by himself. Them together, that's a lot of firepower, man.
I guess
That's
like
a
for me, I just
lot
have to
of
wait to the play. I told you, I'm not a fan of the NBA, but like I have tried to watch a little bit more, just for conversational pieces, so I don't be saying stuff that's just off the wall because like I haven't watched it. But like I'll say the Lakers have surprisingly looked pretty good, even without like a big per se. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
that part of it. I just
Jackson Blazers look.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But he's a young athletic. We know what he is.
Right.
My only question I think, and I mean you correct me if I'm wrong on this. I'm curious to see come playoff basketball what it looks like. In terms of in a series in a little bit
I
slower
think it's gonna look.
game.
I
Like
think it's gonna look good because that's where Luca. We
shines the
literally
most.
just talked about it. When the game is slower,
mhm.
that's when that plays into Luca. Luca is a playoffs type of player. So is LeBron.
Offensively, yes. I'm not. That's not what I'm talking. I'm talking about on the defensive side because even like LeBron being older, I don't expect LeBron to move like a 20-year-old. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Even on defense, he needs a rest too. I'm wondering in those situations in the playoffs how they're going to how defensively they're going to look. You know what I'm saying in the playoffs.
Man,
That's it.
their playmaking ability will just overshadow. That's what I think. And then the defense,
I think offensively they're gonna overwhelm
Lakers
people.
been the best defensive team in the league the last 15 to 20 games. So like I don't know. And again, that's not me being obviously I want LeBron to win. That's my guy. But this is speaking facts here. Like
This is
their
team.
defense has been great. Like, and I just think their playmaking ability is enough to overshadow anything.
And kind of like what you were saying, Justin, this ain't one on one, so it ain't just Luca out
Yeah,
there
it ain't
by
just either one
himself.
of them guys.
No, no,
Like
Like,
no. But I didn't
you,
name
you
Luca by himself. I said Luca and LeBron
but
both.
I'm just saying like they're not again. It's just not one on one. Like and you can't. I don't think you can expose them more than they can expose you.
and LeBron's not getting exposed. Say what you want, not you, but people can say what they want about his
Mhm.
defensive level, bro. He's not about to get just exposed on defense. He's still not being hunted on the defense, man. Nobody is saying, "Hey, whoever LeBron is guarding, come up and get this pick and
Contest
roll."
the pick, yeah, yeah. Let's do the switch.
Like let's keep it real. Nobody's doing that. Like nobody's doing that. So I mean, he may not be out there like like he was when he was
Yeah.
27, 28, but he's still not being hunted on defense. Like he's
Okay.
not
Okay.
okay. Yeah, bring LeBron up
Yeah.
here to get him in his act. Nobody's doing that.
And if that, I mean, if the only person you trying to hunt is Luca, like that ain't gonna be enough. You're
Yeah,
gonna have to
I
score
don't know.
every single time.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't
it
know.
was last year.
I mean, but
So,
but to make it through the finals and
they
he
had
went
a
through the West,
yeah, they had the Boston Celtics were a better team. Like
That yo,
yeah,
for sure, for sure, for
yeah.
better.
sure. But
But if you'd have looked at it, you probably
what
would
did
have
they
said,
do in the finals though, Jared? What did
but
they
you
do in
They
probably
the
would
they
have,
finals?
hunted Luca like a motherfucker. No,
Hey,
you right. Hey, but
hey,
maybe LeBron could like you know what I'm saying, help Buddy out or whatever.
maybe,
I don't
yeah,
know.
maybe.
I'll be
You know,
for that.
they
But
were
like
definitely
when you
hunting
looked at the
Luca for
series
sure.
they went through, if you'd have looked at that OKC team, you was like, okay, they probably was better at that moment when they went up against them and
No,
Dallas at that
OKC was
moment.
young. Everybody said that
And
OKC
then
was young.
Kyrie didn't have that good of a series either, though.
That's what I'm
Mhm.
okay.
Yep.
Like,
So
and we know LeBron isn't gonna like disappear in the playoffs. Like it, we know that that's not going to happen. I feel like if Kyrie possibly could have done a little bit more, the series could have went a different way. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll see. Am I sitting here guaranteeing that the Lakers are going to win?
No, but I think he's
Hell.
in a better situation
But
this year.
they looking
They
legit.
looking better than the Lakers look better this year than Dallas looked last year.
Right. And the Lakers are looking better this year than they have since the bubble. Like, so
Yeah,
I'm just saying. I don't think they've
yeah.
been 17 games over 500 since the bubble.
Man,
Hey,
Honestly.
a
but
long
I
time.
did see my guy SGA boy the other night.
Ooh, that
That
boy
boy,
is
that's a
cooking crazy.
bad boy.
He's
That's
bad,
a
man.
bad
He
boy.
went crazy. He went crazy.
He cold. I don't really particularly like his game either, but super effective.
I do. He's so smooth,
Again,
though.
that's what I'm
He
saying.
is
Like,
super smooth, but yeah, I don't know.
And I like the fact that he's not a 3-point guy. He don't rely on just
nah,
jumping
No,
nah, nah.
threes.
Yeah,
His mid-range and his ability to get in
get
the
to the
paint,
bucket. Yeah, I'm about to say get to
man,
the basket.
man, his midi game is
his midi
crazy.
is dumb. His midi
Man,
is dumb.
how he creates space.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know.
And I hate
Maybe
to
it's
say
like,
this, but it's
his
AI.
dunks don't be- I don't know. It's something goofy. The reason why I just don't like. He's not a high flyer to me, but
Yeah, but
No, he's not.
something about it. Super effective though. Great player. He's gonna win MVP this
he,
season.
he can shoot the midi. He can get
He
finish
can
with
shoot
either
threes
hand.
too. He just doesn't
He
He
can
rely
can
on
shoot
it.
threes.
finish
Yeah, he just don't let them go like that.
finish with either hand. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
super crafty.
yeah,
Yep.
that's what I'm saying. AI is almost, if you want to say, like, he gets in there. Yeah, no, he's yeah. He probably, like you say, he probably gonna win MVP this year. I wouldn't. I would vote for him if I had a vote.
Nah, yeah,
And
for
I
I
would
sure.
would
even say this. I'm curious too, because like I said, as I try to start watching some of this a little bit, I forgot who it was that Denver played that night. I said I wonder if this is a year because Denver's not getting talked about as much. If this is a year where they sneak up on people come that time and kind of
They're
hit
gonna
their
be a tough
stride come
out.
playoff time. You know what I
in the
mean?
playoffs,
Hit their stride come
they,
playoff
they
time.
always do.
Yeah, they're gonna be a tough out. Like they're
Yeah.
not. Yeah,
As long as you got Joker.
yeah.
Yeah,
So, and
it's
then
gonna be tough.
And again, it's
Jamal
like
Murray is
it's
coming
one.
alive now too. Like yeah, they're not
I
gonna be.
heard
And
somebody say that.
Russ also, like, Russ hasn't been playing bad either.
Yeah, he hasn't been terrible now.
Like,
Yeah.
whenever you could drop a Russ in and he's fitting, like, he's just a headache if nothing else. You know what I mean, for other teams if he's playing good. So Denver, you definitely can't sleep on them. And what they third, I think they're a
The
game
third,
back on
yeah.
the Lakers. Like,
Hmm.
they
Yeah, I
gonna
think Seaton's gonna be pretty
it's
interesting to
very
see in the
important.
West. In the West, yeah, I think that's gonna be very important. So
Yeah, yeah. And whoever in these playing teams, like whoever comes out of that, like you
yeah,
said, the seeding, yeah, definitely can
because
play.
even Golden State has looked much better with Jimmy. You know what I
Much
mean? Like
better.
there's like
Much better.
it's some little things that are taking place, and that's why I say like, I'm not.
And this is the
I'll
time to
watch
start
more.
playing your best ball.
Yep,
This
and
is the
start getting
time.
in that rhythm. And even though, like, I haven't been impressed the last couple of times I watched Golden State, and I'll be honest with like how Steph has played, but it seems like this last month, or was it about 2 weeks ago? I think when I caught that, like he's starting to look like he's trying to find a rhythm again. Kind of getting into his groove again. So it'll be interesting. Like I said, I think playoff time is going to be interesting to see because even with a lot of these teams, even with a Golden State, you got two guys in Steph and Jimmy who Jimmy and playoff Jimmy is a real thing. Like I ain't even trying to be funny because I don't like the guy like in terms of that, but like that's a real thing. Like he
I do
turns it
like Jimmy. I ain't
on
gonna lie. I
come
like Jimmy.
playoff time. So I'll be curious, I'll be kind of curious to see, what happens. So like I said, I'm gonna tap into a little bit more of the NBA. I find myself even the last few times some of the games I've turned on, I turn them off so quick, man. It's just ugly. But Detroit's pretty nice too. I did like
Yeah.
watching them. I did like watching Detroit play too. I like and they got a young team. They got a real young team. So yep, I did like that too.
Yeah, man. All right. Look, man, we are almost at an hour and 40 minutes. We've been talking too long.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that part.
I think these contracts, this is NFL free agent season, man. March 10th is gonna be
Very
interesting to
interesting.
see this,
Yep.
but it is every year, bro.
Yeah.
We get to this time of the season where you got the NFL offseason, you got NBA playoffs about to happen, you got
March Madness coming
March
up.
Madness, you got all this stuff around March, the draft coming up. Like, it's a lot going on. So March is gonna be a good sports month for it. So
Yeah, yeah, definitely plenty of things to talk about for sure.
Absolutely. So, man, with that being said, man, any final thoughts? Anybody got anything to say that we ain't already said? I feel like we done said everything about it.
Yeah, I feel like we didn't talk.
Yeah, nah, it's time.
talk
Only
that
thing,
stuff
only
because-
thing I'm gonna say is, hey, we appreciate anybody if y'all like, share, subscribe, just to help us out. We definitely appreciate it.
Definitely in the Facebook group, please.
Yep.
We need 7 followers so we can stream. I could quit streaming to my main page, and we can stream to the Facebook page, which I think all the people in our group would enjoy.
Yeah.
HBO help a brother out.
Please, just 7.
Yep. Facts.
It's not a million. It's just we just need 7 to get to 100 to get over that threshold. But if that's all, then that's it, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for joining me tonight again, man. And thanks to whoever watching. Thanks for people commenting and staying with us, man. We see y'all next week, man, for another episode of the Epic Podcast. Peace.